Hello everybody and welcome to another Battleground Games Live, a very special Battleground Games Live. I am Andrew and we are in the Norton location of Battleground Games and Hobbies in Norton, Massachusetts. I am actually not a part of this stream. I am going to be running the back end. I'm your engineer and I will be in chat keeping everybody who's watching company. We are actually going to be doing a role-playing stream today, as you can see. RPG of the month, Fate Core Camelot Trigger. Very quickly, for anybody who's joining us and who has not seen us before, Battleground Games and Hobbies is a Boston area, Massachusetts games and hobbies retailer. We do board games, card games, miniature war games, all that sort of fun stuff. And we have 3 locations. The location we're in right now is the Norton location. We have one up in Saugus on Route 1, and we have one in Abington, which is where we normally stream from. For today's stream, because this is a role-playing stream, we're not going to be interacting with the chat. I will be in chat. I will be a disembodied voice, not actually a part of the stream. But if you have anything cool you want to say, do say it. If you want to throw some bits, I will be in chat to appreciate those bits, and we'll come back to you and thank you at the end of the stream. If you want to subscribe, follow, all those fun things, I will be there to keep you company. In the meantime, I'm going to throw it over to our wonderful cadre of folks so that you can see what's going to be happening today. Take it away, Sam.
Hello, everyone. I am Sam. I am kind of the resident game master and dungeon master here at Battleground Norton. And today I am very excited to share with you this month's RPG of the month, which is Fate Core. It is an extremely narrative RPG system. It allows for incredible storytelling play that everyone gets to be invested in. Everyone has a chance to take part in telling that story. And the setting we're using today, because Fate Core, there is a Conan-style swordswoman, a magic cop, and a kung fu cyborg gorilla on the cover. Fate Core can run basically anything. But today we are running a setting from Fate Worlds in Shadow, from Volume 2 of Fate Worlds, called Camelot Trigger, designed by Rob Weiland. And I apologize, Rob, if I got your name completely wrong there in terms of pronunciation. It's about Arthurian legend in space with giant mechs. The briefest rundown is that Dr. Vivian Locke created an AI known as MER-GNA, which then emerged, which is became sentient. And it immediately decided that humanity was a threat and decided to exterminate and or enslave it. Big whole war with robots that's still going on. Earth was conquered, humanity was scattered to the various planets of the solar system. Bad news. As in an act of desperation, the worm gates, big dragon-shaped wormhole-like portal things that linked the planets, were shut down to prevent the spread of the emergent. However, decades later, John Arthur, when looking through Dr. Locke's facility, found another AI, MER-LN, and with its aid created his own suit of armor, one of these giant mech suits. And then MER-LN emerged and set about working with Arthur to reclaim the worm gates, reclaim Earth, and gather knights to Arthur's banner to face down the emergent threat. And so that's where we're at. We have with us today 4 knights in service of King Arthur. So let's go around and have everyone introduce themselves. Should we start just over with Fred?
My name is Fred. I've been playing Sir Trunk. Sir Trunk is a knight of the Wreck. He comes from basically the asteroid belt in space, where he has kind of taken a step back from the knightly lifestyle after a catastrophic loss in battle.
And one quick thing about Fate I forgot to mention. In Fate, you don't have stats so much for your characters as you do phrases that link you to the story, that define what is true about you, about the setting, about the situation. And these are called aspects. For a character, the aspects are divided into your high concept, which is what's your deal, your trouble, which is what complicates your life, and then any number of other aspects just about it. So what is your high concept?
My high concept is scarred veteran returned from the wreck. My trouble is can't resist an unfair fight. And my first minor aspect, I guess, is the shield of my companions.
And by unfair fight, that's one not in your favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's 5-on-1, that's my favorite fight.
Yeah. Awesome.
Me being the one.
Yes. Thank you. Moving on to Stephen.
So I'm Stephen, and I will be playing Sir Monty. Sir Monty is one of the mining mechanics from Mercury, which has at this point in time been turned into a mining facility with automated. And when GNA took over, lots of my brethren and myself were experimented on for some unknown reason that I'm not sure of. But I survived the experimentation, much to my looks being
to the detriment of your social life.
Yeah, to the detriment of my social life. So my high concept is I'm the Mercurian mining mechanic. My trouble is I'm GNA's mess of man and machine. And my first aspect is Whispers from the Breach.
Which is your only non-alliterative aspect, which I'm very disappointed about.
It's the only one that doesn't have that M thing going on. But I didn't give it to myself. It was given to me.
Murmurings from the breach?
It could be murmurings from the breach, but the area that I'm looking at is called the breach, which is basically like that space-time area.
Yeah, that the worm gates connect to. The worm gates themselves are now under the control of Mer-LN. He keeps Mer-GNA out, but lately she's been having the emergent show up places, so she must be doing something with the breach that's sort of unauthorized and new.
I like it.
So you have kind of a staticky hardline to all that in your skull.
Yep.
So that's fun.
Times.
Yes. I apologize. I've neglected one of the most important things about this, which is big stompy robots. Sir Trunk. Sir Trunk, what does your mech look like? What does your armor look like?
My armor is basically a giant ram, like a mechanized ram that I sit in, and with a rather large horns used for hitting things, and a I would say prehensile style tail. It's more like a whip than a tail, but runs on 4 legs, usually head first into things.
Which is very unusual. There's most robots, most of the armor suits are humanoid in form, so that's a different thing.
But I mean, there's a reason, which we'll see later.
Yes. And what is Monty's armor?
So Monty's armor, Monty 1. Is
very humble.
I'm very humble, but it's basically so on Mercury we have very limited resources. So I built my armor myself, all by myself, out of different components of the mining structure. So it's sort of like this cobbled together, steampunky mining warrior sort of thing. But I mean, it works, and it works awesome, and I built it. So you're welcome.
And you've modified his armor a little too, right?
Yeah, I helped him modify his armor, and our armors. There's some compatibility there. That's quite interesting.
Very well. We'll see how that goes. So moving on to Amanda.
I'm Amanda, and I'm going to be playing Ser Alwilda. She is an idealistic deserter from Saturn. She has.
Tell us a bit about Saturn.
Yeah,
what's the deal there?
Saturn is very, very wealthy. Saturn has rings that have ice, and ice can be made into water. Water is a valuable resource. So Saturn has a lot of wealth. It's a really nice place to live. And it's ruled by a Senate. And the Senate own all of the mechs for Saturn. And they have teams that pilot these mechs for them, and each team has a patron, a specific patron. And that patron's symbols are on the armor. So I was one of those people, and I had a patron, and then I heard some rumors that perhaps a long-held hero of mine had been reborn And I got into this whole thing because I really believe in knighthood and in being honorable and chivalrous. And that's not exactly what we do on Saturn, but
So
I can make it
honorably,
work.
so honorably in chivalry, you.
I left. I deserted because I have a higher purpose, and that is to join Arthur's knights because I know that's where my destiny lies, and to meet my hero. So my trouble is that I have stolen armor painted with lies because I've covered up my patron's
Oh, yeah.
symbols.
You don't tell everyone that you stole armor and are from Saturn and that the most wealthy government in the solar system is after you. That didn't come up?
I may be a little naive, but I know that's a bad idea.
Very well.
And then my first aspect is the Lady Lake is an omen of victory.
And we'll get to Lady Lake in a bit. What is your armor? It's just.
So my armor, the Saturn Senate's armors, their mechs are very much sort of very nice, very sleek, very good at battle. We're well trained to use them. I have some mods for my my weaponry. My weaponry isn't entirely standard, but it's very much
Top of the line.
top of the line, but not in an unusual way. It's a mech suit, and it fights well, and I'm very good at it. You have to be good to be on these teams, so I'm good at piloting it, but it is stolen.
It's a very
not-
nice stolen car.
It is!
In my defense, it was super cool.
It was super nice, and
So
I knew how to get away with it.
yeah, so good. Well, so far, we'll see if that comes up later. It's going to come up.
I got to this point with it.
Yes.
So,
So speaking of Lady Lake, Zoe, who are you?
Hi everybody, I'm Zoe, and I am playing Lady Nimue of the Lake.
Why do they call you that?
Well, I was found on Earth, a wonderful planet. Well, it wasn't, but it's getting there.
It was, then it wasn't,
It
then
was,
it will
then
be.
it wasn't, and it will be. It's
One
fine.
day.
Everything is fine. I was found in a facility hidden underneath a frozen lake. And my high concept is that I am the warrior clone of Dr. Locke. So I look like her. I have all of her data and memories and everything, but I am slightly younger looking. And unfortunately, that also makes me, which is my trouble, GNA's primary target. I am, number one on her list. Because I am Dr. Locke. I created the machines. Well, not me. She did. I'm the clone. You get it.
You've inherited the ability to mess with the emergent on a fundamental level. Yes.
Thanks, Mom, sister. Anyway.
Lady.
Anyway, and one of my aspects is that Excalibur and I are made for each other, which brings me to my mech. It is a cousin of the Caliber mech that Arthur drives. It is humanoid, it is pristine, it is very like 16th century knight looking, and it's mine. So
It has a few tricks that Arthur's does not.
So fortunately, I can do some things that Arthur can't.
Yeah.
If needed, I can kind of shift around my combat to help others.
We'll probably see that come into play. So let me do the briefest of rundowns for everybody on how Fate works, what we'll be doing with this, and then a few specific things about Camelot Trigger. In Fate, the rolls are done with 4 dice that are marked plus, minus, and blank. So you always roll 4 dice. You get a result between +4 and -4, and that added to that is your skill. Everybody has has skills at +4, +3, +2, and +1, depending on whether they are great, good, fair, or average in that skill. So you're adding that onto there. If you roll and you hate what you got, there are ways of changing that result by spending fate points. Everybody starts with 3. I start with 1 per player, so I get 4. Ha 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 ha. And these can be spent to boost your roll by 2, or to re-roll the dice completely if it was absolutely terrible. You can also use it to aid somebody else. If one of your aspects could, or your efforts could aid one of your companions, you could do a +2 to their roll. Also, you can use it to increase passive opposition if, like, you've laid down an oil slick for somebody and they have to navigate it. You're like, well, but I have this thing that says I'm really good at oil slicks. So you can invoke that, so instead of rolling against a flat +2, they have to roll against a 4. So that's the very, very basics of how that works. And we'll go more into how skills work or how actions work when we get there. It should be noted that aspects are the only way that you can use those fate points to really work. They have to be tied to an aspect. You can't just throw fate points at me and expect it to do anything. Aspects are also how you regain fate points by these things that are true about the narrative complicating your life. You know, it's like, oh, I put that I'm bad at romance, and now I'm stuck in a murderous love triangle. Oops. You know, that's awesome. That's fantastic. That makes for good drama, and you get rewarded with plot fuel for that. So that's the gist there. As far as Camelot Trigger goes, it is mostly the same as regular Fate, with the addition of armor. Armor is big stompy suits. Each armor is made up of 5 different systems that do different things. Some of them give you stunts, which allow you to use your skills in different ways or let you break the rules in minor ways. Other systems that you can use are internal systems that just give you a cool skill bonus that you can use in place of your own if it's better. When your armor takes damage, you can shut down systems. That's how we represent these big stompy robots slamming into each other and not just grinding you, the pilot, into paste. So that's what's happening there. If your opponent does okay, then then you get to pick an armor thing that's shut down. If they beat you badly, then they might get to choose, and so on. There's rules for that. We'll deal with that when you start getting banged up in your armor.
I just read what stunt you gave me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. A little bit of percussive maintenance never hurt anybody.
Absolutely.
Except maybe your hand when you So lastly, we are using some awesome character sheets, if I can borrow this.
Yeah.
These were created by Josh Leavitt. I was able to find them online. He created them in 2013, so I have no idea if he's still at all paying attention to this stuff or if he's watching, but if so, thank you. I appreciate them. They're very, very cool. All right. Any questions before we get started? Anything unclear? Awesome.
Good.
Then let us begin. So the current plot in Fate consists of issues. These are things that are going on. There are 2 things going on right now. One, and that's the bulk of today's mission, is there is a moon of Jupiter known as Arrochar. It's one of the minor moons, and it's Arrochar for those playing at home. Arrochar is not the most notable moon of Jupiter, but it does have a fairly sizable force of knights. It should be noted that all the moons of Jupiter are ruled by independent kings or queens who call themselves the Titans. They're known as the petty Titans outside of there, especially on Saturn, because they're just on the moons of Jupiter and nobody really cares. But to them, it's very important. There's lots of intrigue, lots of honor, lots of old grudges and things going on. And they are not all on board with Arthur. And many of them are demanding exorbitant, ransoms and treasure to even think about joining Arthur in the fight against the Emergent. But one of them, Titan Wilmot of Arrochar, has made an offer that he will join Arthur, that he will swear fealty, that Arrochar will become a fiefdom of Earth if Arthur can prove that he's on the winning side of this conflict. And he proposed the way to prove that is with a joust.
Of course.
Arthur brings some of your knights, they can fight my knights, they can fight my champion, and if you beat me, you earn my loyalty. So that's, and by joust I don't mean you get on top of a giant metal horse and fight. It's the duel with armor, is what it is. So you don't have to worry.
I was kind of worried there. I was like, I'm the horse.
Yeah, you get to be the horse. They'll never expect it.
Team up.
You've got like a mannequin
I mean,
on
you
top
can't,
of yours.
you can't unhorse me.
Yeah, you just win. No, it's duels with armor.
Okay.
Is what a joust is.
Okay.
So that is the current issue, and there's an aspect on that. Prove the strength of Earth.
Okay.
This can work to your benefit. If you can drive yourself, no, this is why I'm here. It can work to your detriment if it becomes very inconvenient to have to prove the strength of Earth, or if you start showing weakness. So that is out there. All aspects are double-edged and can be used for or against you. There's another thing going on, unbeknownst to all of you, but knownst to us. Mergienne has a project that she was working on Mercury called Project Mordred. Project Mordred, and none of you know this, but it's too good not to know. This is what we see in like the little prologue before the opening credits. Mordred is a clone of Arthur, a cyborg clone of Arthur that she is intending to subtly conquer Earth with. If she can replace Arthur, then she effectively gains control of humanity without having to beat it militarily. Now, none of you know that that's going on, though, Monty, you might have odd dreams and things, about a very cruel King Arthur and, odd things coming through the breach. But what has been happening lately is attempts on Arthur's life, which is another aspect on him. Lately, accidents have been happening, potential treachery. Nobody knows how or why, but life has been getting more dangerous for King Arthur himself, his own person. These things are kind of in conflict with one another. Arthur is determined that going to this planet, going to Arrakar, and obtaining the fealty of Titan Wilmot is a good thing. But there is the chance that this is a trap. So, and this was no small source of conflict between him and his greatest knight, the former slave knight, still known by his alphanumeric designation, L4NC3L07, Lancelot, ruler of Mars. But Arthur, of course, won in the end, and he left Lancelot back at home to guard Earth alongside Arthur's queen. And I'm sure there's going to be no problems arising from that at all.
None whatsoever.
None at all. Everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be great.
So is there like a feeling that if they can get Wilmot to go, that other Titans will go as well?
Potentially.
Like
there
that-
are
is
many
that-
alliances and rivalries. Some of them might join out of spite. Just like I will not be outdone by Wilmot. Others might say, well, if it's good enough, it at least puts it on the
So
table.
it's a stepping stone.
Exactly.
Spite is the
exactly.
best reason to do things.
I mean,
Yes.
always.
Yeah, spite is really what drives us.
That's how I operate all the time.
So, on your flight over, Mur-Elen talks to you in your armor, the AI, and is able to tell you a bit about Arrakar. Arrakar is a place where honor is a big deal. Armor is passed down from generation to generation. Armor is captured on the battlefield, and this results in feuds from millennia, potentially, between the various houses. The most important thing is that because honor is so important there, it is deemed a source or a worthy use of violence. So honor slighted is blood spilled. This is a situation aspect that is on the planet and the culture there.
Okay.
Anytime you're dealing with the people of Arrakar, that is a potential thing. Also, because of those slights of honor, because of the conflicts with other petty titans, old grudges never die out here. So that's something to keep in mind. So, our opening shot here is of the purple dragon head above Jupiter. I believe it's the purple one.
Oh yeah, it's purple.
Yeah, Jupiter should be the purple one. It's like a giant open dragon mouth and then energy like just starts spiraling through it, and 5 suits of armor come flying out. The 4 of you and Arthur in caliber. We see these streak down out of the sky over Jupiter, but aiming towards one of these smaller moons. You come down through the atmosphere and land on this huge balcony overlooking the city as part of this massive palatial structure. There are knights in armor waiting, just like kind of arrayed on the sides. And as you land, they raise up like giant plasma swords and the like. And as you dismount your armor, coming out through whatever cool mechanism you use, massive doors open, and out comes a relatively, compared to everything else, unimpressive-looking gentleman. He's a little thicker around the waist. He's got a kind of disappointing beard. It like sort of comes off the front and then doesn't do much of anything for him. He's got kind of thin hair plastered down around there. He's got the tiny mustache and everything. And he is smiling as he comes forward. There's a servant coming along as well. And he meets you kind of out in the middle of this plaza sort of thing. And he says, "Well, well, you've arrived. Arthur, it's so good of you to grace my home with your presence. And I see you have brought some people with you. It's excellent, excellent." Arthur ignores any possible insult that may have been there and says, "Yes, these are my knights, my champions for the event." "Well, it's a lot of faith you're putting in. Would you like any refreshments, something to eat? A bath, perhaps, any of you, after your journey? Anything like that?"
Good.
Very, very well. Well, welcome to Arokar. So delighted to have you. I trust that you are Arthur's finest warriors.
Are their swords still like up at us?
No, the swords are on the suits of armor. They were.
Yeah.
It was a salute kind of thing as he came out.
Okay.
So they were the size of towers.
Yeah.
So they're still standing in armor back there. So
Right.
if you just deck this guy, there could be consequences.
Right, but they're not like standing threatening.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just at attention.
Okay.
Do you react in any way?
No. I tensed when we first landed, and I'm
but they
ready.
weren't drawing swords at you.
But
they were
now
doing
I've
the-
kind of relaxed. And
Yeah.
You can see like the armor plates on my.
You're out of your armor now.
Oh, okay.
It's difficult to have this conversation when you're jumping a giant.
I mean,
so
I don't see a problem, but okay.
Arthur wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
So you are all standing there as yourselves. There's an opportunity if anyone wants to dive in on this situation. Also, as far as compels go, if you have an aspect that would trouble you and you think it would be interesting, I don't have to compel you. You can compel yourselves. This is an excellent source of fate points should you wish them. Otherwise, we can move on if no one has anything super.
I want to take a look at some of these suits of armor around here.
Sure.
I want to they look interesting. The plasma sword thing going on. I want to see if I can figure out their construction, especially since we're going to be, jousting against these
Fighting,
guys.
yeah.
Knowing a little bit about them would be nice. Are there any close to me that if I just walk towards one, it's not going to be totally rude?
You would, because of the scale of this,
Yeah.
you would have to walk about 50 feet away from the conversation to do this, to get up close. It would be fairly obvious to do so. I don't know if you care.
Yeah, probably not. So I'm just gonna walk over and look up at this thing and be like, "Oh, you got some interesting construction here. This is
Calling over.
No, I'm calling back as I'm
when you're
walking.
50 feet away,
Yeah,
it's just like,
got some
"Oh,
interesting construction
hey."
here, and I want to examine, take a close look at the closest suit of armor here.
Okay. Do you want this to be a problematic thing, or do you not? Are you not interested in that narratively right now? Are we not ready to start digging holes for ourselves, or?
if this would be offensive to, I mean, he kind of asked if there's anything that we want to do. I would like
I'm
to.
asking as a DM if there's. Oh yeah. He asked if you wanted like refreshments.
Yeah, I'm not really looking for refreshments. I'm looking for information.
Very well. All right. So, what would be a good complication here for potentially offending this dude? There's got to be something juicy.
Well, I mean, Excalibur and I were made for each other. I don't really want to leave my armor in the hands of this less than ideal gentleman.
Wow. Me? So
No.
So you're not.
No,
are
no.
you insisting to wear your armor around the palace? That's.
I am insisting that I follow wherever the armor is being kept and inspect wherever it is that it's going to be held
it'll
until
be-
the tournament.
It'll be out here until you bring it over. and everything.
good.
This is just the parking lot.
Okay.
You know.
The
So yeah, this is the designated. You know.
We're in the Lancelot.
Oh jeez. We got our first pun, everybody. The Lancelot. Oh God.
Here, have a thing.
Good start. Solid.
But no, for him walking away like this, what do we think? You know, does Wilmot get livid at this? Is it a you know?
I mean, I would think he might feel a little slighted that he doesn't have our full attention.
I'm talking to Wilmot. Like I'm
Yeah, but
yelling to
yeah,
Wilmot.
You're not
But not
deceiving
in a
him.
courtly way.
You're more interested
if it
in
doesn't
this
seem,
thing.
Well, if you're not interested in this being a, you know, a big deal, then we don't have to make this a big compel kind of deal. This could just be a, you know, an odd quirk to the scene.
Definitely could just be an odd quirk.
All right, let's go with
If
that.
Wilmot's not offended by me
think-
asking about his car,
Yeah.
then
So I think you go over and start kind of yelling back, and he like kind of looks puzzled for a bit, and then Arthur actually says, "They are interesting suits," and starts following, and so it kind of like the conversation is just moving that way, and so you're like just kind of poking around, and Wilmot rapidly recovers. He's like, "Yes, this armor has been in the service of the Wilmot family for a great many years. Classic style, you see. Seen many a battle against some of my neighbors."
yes, very interesting. I especially like how this. How are you accomplishing this? And I'm pointing to the plasma swords here. Like,
Oh, that's old technology. I could have one of my technicians explain it to you sometimes if you don't have that anywhere where you're from.
no, we have something like it. I'm just curious about what it's running on. What's the fuel source of this guy?
Oh, I don't bother myself with the technical details, but a studious man. I like.
Yeah, I like to know what I'm looking at.
Yes. Seems like you have machines in your blood.
You could say that.
And on your face, your arms, just cables coming out of the back of your skull.
Are you insinuating something?
At this point, he kind of says, "Well, let me show you the arena. You know, let me show you about the place." And he brings you inside and takes you through the halls and everything. And as you get to one of the areas overlooking this massive, like, Colosseum thing, someone else approaches, dressed in a totally different style to Wilmot. She's wearing these, like, you know, purple kind of robes, and she's wearing a veil across her face, and she's got two guards, not in armor, you know, but actually probably not armored at all, but they do have blades at their sides and everything. They look like bodyguards. They also have veils across their face. Seems like a totally different culture to the one that you're seeing. And then she comes and allow me to introduce one of my colleagues, one of the other Titans of Jupiter. This is Titan Harlock. She is one of my closest neighbors and closest friends.
Do we bow?
No.
Arthur kind of smirks. He's trying to keep a straight face, you know. He's just sort of, you know, pretending everything's fine. He's just like gives her the nod, and she says,
Just do what Arthur does.
"Yeah, give the little nod." Though he's the head of state, and she says,
Can I would know something like this, so can I like be like, no,
Yeah, there's little background squabbles. Arthur pays zero attention anyway. She says, "Welcome, Arthur of Earth. It's a pleasure to see you at last. I have heard many stories." Stories do happen. She kind of, like, is just sort of studying him. You know, like, goes so far as to, like, walk around him.
So
Like,
she's gonna have to walk around both of us because I'm not leaving his side.
okay, you're, like, standing in her way.
Yeah.
You know, she kind of, like, steps back, you know, from that. You know, her guards, like, go to hell, and then she kind of, like, just steps back. "And who are your vassals?"
We are knights, your ladyship.
"Indeed," says Arthur. "This is Sir Trump. He is sworn to protect me and mine. This is Lady Nimue Lake. This is Sir Wilda, and this is Sir Monty of Mercury." And he says, "I believe old Wilda is from one of the Jovian moons, are you not?"
Yes, originally.
Says, "Really? Which one?"
I've been away from home for a while, so really, I mean, it's not that important. It's I was on Io, but it's fine. I haven't been there in a while.
Wilmot's like, "Yes, yes, most interesting. Anyway, it is delightful to have you all here. You are, of course, confident that you can defeat my own knights?"
Indeed.
Yes.
Well, well.
You should tell me what that fuel is for that plasma. Being
I suppose we will see. Let's cut to the grand melee.
Okay.
So he's like kind of rubs his hands together. We get the chuckle as it like zooms in a little bit, and then
Fade.
we are in the Colosseum. You are all in armor, and there's dozens of knights around, and it is just absolute crazy giant mech fights. You know, you're throwing people around, blasting away with, you know, lasers and missiles and everything, doing horrible things to each other, and it's fantastic. This is sort of the qualifying round, where basically they see which of you is cool enough to face Wilmot's champion. You know, his champion is his eldest son. So you are facing a ton of these dudes. This isn't high stakes enough for me to really. You guys are a cut above these guys, 100%. These guys are just petty little knights from a backwater world. So I'm not going to run this as a combat, or as a conflict, as it's known in Fate. I'm going to run this as just a quick one-roll determiner for each of you to see who is the best. Now, you guys can go as hard as you want on this to show off how cool you are. But remember that any fate points spent now you may not have later when things start getting sticky. We're going to go around the table, and each of you is going to tell me the highlight of your specific actions during this. You will just tell me what is the coolest thing you did during this fight, and then we will roll for it to see how cool you actually were.
okay. Is Arthur participating in this with us?
No.
Okay.
It is not Arthur himself that Wilmot is interested in. It's how well he commands his, his people and everything. What forces he can bring to bear. Because Arthur himself could be great against a zillion robots. One guy is not that important. He needs to know the quality of Arthur's troops, and that is all you. So Arthur will be up in this skybox with Wilmot, watching this proceed. Harlock is probably up there as well with her bodyguards. Does anyone wish to go first? Anyone have an idea for what cool thing? Yes.
I guess I'll go first.
So, Lady Lake, Paint me a picture. What is going on with you at the coolest moment of this melee?
At the coolest moment, Lady Lake is her primary objective is to not make herself a target. So she's kind of in the background. She'll shoot a couple of things every once in a while, but there is one knight one robot that is getting.
It is a knight. It is a joke.
Yeah, one knight that is getting a little bit too close and personal, and so she waits and pretends that she's not looking, like she's paying attention to something else. And as the knight comes at her, she sword turns her head, blaster aimed here, boom.
Nice. Okay.
So cool.
That is super. Oh yes, your fan over here.
Oh, he's so cool.
Yes.
And see the mech.
Clang.
Like,
Good lord.
just on top of another note.
Yeah, you're clapping another. So.
Isn't she cool?
So this is the golden rule of fate, by the way, is describe what you do and then we'll translate it into mechanics. That, to me, the cool bit sounds like the trick. I think that's what's going on there, is you being super crafty, which I love. So in this case, it sounds like the actual thing we're doing here. There's 4 different actions in Fate. There's attack, which is fairly self-explanatory. There's defend, which is anytime you're trying to stop something from actively happening, that's that. There's overcome, which is the catch-all for like, there's something that I want to deal with or get rid of or bypass or whatever. And then there's create an advantage, which is when you try to put an aspect on the scene on somebody else. And this can be used for to give you extra aspects that you can get invocations of to boost your stuff. I think this is a matter of creating an advantage.
I agree.
In this case, let's see. I feel like because of the trickery involved, I feel like this is the cunning skill.
I agree.
Now, I should note that everybody has exactly 1 skill on their sheets. One of the benefits of Fate is that we can finish character creation during play. You have plenty of open spots. Only your great skill is determined so far. How good are you at cunning?
I'm really good at cunning. I'd say +3.
Like a +3?
I'm
like
good.
at
I
cunning?
am good at cunning.
Awesome. So write in cunning under +3. So that'll be that. And so yeah, so you'll be rolling your 4 fate dice, and you'll be adding your cunning to +3. Does your armor have any stunts, or do you have any stunts that aid you in doing this sort of thing?
Zeal.
Zeal is a different skill.
Oh, right.
Zeal is the moving about skill. It's
Yes,
the commit
you're
to,
right.
to the move
You're right.
kind of thing. I don't think you have anything specifically about
No,
creating aspects.
not creating
using
aspects.
cunning
Nope.
everything. So let's roll these dice. Let's see what you get.
A blank, a blank, a blank, and a negative.
So 4 blanks and a minus, which is a -1 from the dice, which gets you to a +2 though with that. Are you happy with that, or is there something that you can invoke?
I'm happy with that for now. I'm happy with that.
Well, this will be your standing result for the match. But are you not going hard yet?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna hold back a little bit.
Okay.
This is not where I shine.
Okay. So Lady Lake is at a +2 so far for this. Still look badass. You still clap. It still
I
happens.
still have a fan. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It still happens. This guy
So
totally gets
awesome.
decimated. But you're not going over the top because you're still playing this kind of support role. Who wants to be next?
So I'll go next. So I'm looking around the battlefield, seeing and noting that probably what I have like for hand to hand is not going to be as up to snuff.
They've got weapons. You have a giant mining.
Yeah.
drill,
So I wanna help my 4-legged friend here, Trunk, to really just wail on some guys. So I think I want to try to maneuver around the field, and then build a ramp for him to basically just jump and do bowling stats for him.
Interesting. So you're not.
I don't want to be the champion.
So you're saying you don't have a coolest moment of
I don't
this
have
game?
a coolest moment. I'm aiding Trunk
Interesting.
to be the cool one.
Okay, I like that a lot. So
But I'm
let's-
taking special note
Yes.
of every piece of equipment I see and who gets destroyed.
Ah, okay. Interesting. Or whose system like gets knocked in. Yeah.
Whose systems may not be operable later, but could be modified.
Okay. Okay. I like it. So rather than rolling yourself, I think it's going to be on him.
I think I'm going to try to help him out there.
All right. So let's go over to Trunks. Trunks, what is your standout moment in this battle?
So I noticed I'm at one end of the Coliseum, and I noticed that two of my companions are on the other end, and they're starting to get a little overwhelmed. Like the people are starting to get a little too close.
Oh, you've cleared out the mob over here.
And,
like you've
well,
decimated.
I'm not really worried about over here so
yes.
much because I'm trying to. My goal is not to win. If I win, that's great.
I love
But my goal is to basically make sure that no one else gets hurt on my team.
I see.
So at that point when I notice that happening, I'm thinking like, okay, it's bowling pin time.
Okay.
And I use my tail to grab the leg of the guy who's like beside me, and I just take off with him dragging behind me, using one of Monty's ramps.
Married.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And using one of the ramps that Monty has set up to kind of just run up and jump and try to take out as many of them.
You just take out a whole
land on
mob.
as many as I can. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. All right. So.
May I see the setting?
So this sounds. I don't know. This sounds like an attack. I would imagine.
The skills part of it is here if you're looking for skills.
No, I'm looking
So
backstory.
sounds like it's mostly a melee sort of thing that's going on. As you're going over and you're just getting in the mix.
Well, yeah. I mean, more what I'm trying to do is get there and take out people as I get there.
Yeah.
So-
but as you get you're slamming into them like a cannonball. you
Yeah,
know? So
basically.
yeah, that would be melee.
Okay.
So yeah, how's your melee?
So using my horns, I do have a +2 to melee immediately after moving at least one zone.
Awesome.
So
that stunt will come into play. What's your melee skill, however?
Oh, I would say it's pretty good. I would say my
You think
melee
that? All right,
skill's
right
pretty
in
good.
melee under your +3. I think that's also something that you're probably really solid at.
Yeah.
So you'll have +3 to that, and stunts. So your ram's horns and everything. Because of that, you get a +2 to the final result.
Okay.
As a result of that, yeah, I think that's
So it would be a +5 total.
yes,
Okay.
+5 total, and
Alright.
then he can invoke aspects to add boosts onto this as well. You know, if he's got something that he can do.
It's a +1,
So +1 so far, adding 5.
so +6.
So a +6 to be super cool. Are there any aspects that you wish to invoke on this, either yours or potentially his? If it just makes sense of how you could help. Or is there an aspect that is not on your character sheet that totally should be, like your relationship with him?
Yeah, I feel like he and I have some sort of connection together.
I mean, also,
Because you knighted me.
Yes.
So maybe,
Is it about?
or maybe at one point. So I figure, here we go. So if you came to me for repairs and stuff, and then you knighted me, it would seem to make sense that maybe at one point I was sort of your squire.
Once a squire, always a squire.
Yeah, something like that. Like once a squire, always a squire.
Ooh, I kind of like that.
Like
which
it.
also, which can also play into this whole social thing of you're not really great with the high and mighty, kind of thing. Once a squire, always a squire. Awesome.
So I want to invoke that
to aid his.
to aid his role.
Awesome. Which brings him to a +8.
okay.
Good lord. Let me check the shit here. That's at the top of the ladder. That's legendary. So So you go rocketing up and everything, and like everyone out in the stands and everything, there's like cheers and stuff. And then people just see, like for a moment, you blot out the sun. Now that's easier to do on Jupiter. It's very far away, but you blot out the sun when you come down. Like for a moment, people outside the arena think they are under attack. There is somewhere on Arukar a distant farmer who hears a rumble of thunder and starts bringing his goats back in before the storm gets here. There is no storm coming. When the dust clears and everything,
goats, man.
there is just a crater of armor. Just like boom, you know, they're just like all just scattered, piled up all around. Alwilda, can you top this? What is your standout moment in this? How do you?
So here's the thing. I feel like.
And you're the hometown favorite. Like you have
I
Jovi,
am.
like a Jupiter,
Yeah.
kind of thing from one of the, from Io on there, right?
Yeah.
On your armor, it's your heraldry.
Right. But I'm also trained on Saturn for showmanship.
That's true, because you fought in like the, the special events.
I had to
like,
get patronage.
We're so rich. Let's fight each other with our little guys.
I
It'll be
had
fun.
to put on a good show, and I had to
Yes.
be able to do that.
So even if you don't necessarily want to fight the champion, this is your element. You're
this
just
is like, and it's almost like
Are you not entertained?
you sort of have this feeling where you walk into the Coliseum and you're like, I'm gonna hold back because it's gonna be okay. I'm just gonna keep an eye on her, protect her, and then it's like I just can't help myself.
The second that the cheering's happening
Yeah.
and like
And
people are paying
I'm
attention to
right
you, you're like,
back
yes,
in
here
my
I
hometown, fighting to make sure that I get to be one of those pilots that gets a suit of armor.
So you come out and you are Arthur's shining knight kind of thing.
I'm
You're
ready
like,
to show
I am,
off.
Yeah, behold peasants, look upon me
Yeah.
in despair.
And I also kind of want to show off for her because she's really cool, but I want her to think that I'm cool too.
It's senpai
So
syndrome.
I really want to like do something really flashy. So like I'm thinking about all the cool moves that I've seen
Okay.
in fights
So
before. Like, and this is all going through my head.
So you're just
rapid
trying
speed.
to be impressive. is the
Yeah,
thing.
I want to look cool.
Okay, I
So,
like this. I like this.
I'm basically, because I've done shows before and I'm sort of looking for someone to wail on.
Yeah.
That I can just like go after and sort of do like a 1-2 and then a 3-4.
Okay.
And just like rapid fire.
Like knock
Just-
someone back, then trigger the rocket boots so they haven't even hit the
Right.
ground yet, and then you're doing
Yeah, and I'm just sort of like boom, boom.
crazy
you
stuff
know.
like that. Yeah, all this crazy stuff.
And it's all very showy.
Okay. So this is less about inflicting damage and more about look how cool I am.
Yeah, it's very much the visuals
Okay.
are the cool part.
Wilmot's gonna like that.
Yeah,
So,
I want it to look more impressive than it might actually
Okay.
be.
So I feel like there's a couple things. This feels like a create advantage
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I feel like it is.
The advantage that you're trying to create is something like, look how cool I am or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's sort of a jazz hands moment.
Yeah.
you know.
It's either that or an
Yeah.
overcome roll, but I feel like it's more of a,
Yeah.
like winning over the crowd kind of thing. So,
My jazz hands have lightning bolts, you know.
and you're doing this through mastery of your suit, right?
Yeah.
That seems like, okay, so this sounds like,
I've trained really hard and
So
I know how to put on a
this
good show.
sounds like you are using the armor skill.
Yes, I think so.
So how good is
That
your
sounds good.
armor skill?
I'm gonna say it's good.
That's one of your goods?
I'm gonna say it's good.
All right.
Yeah,
Everybody's super good?
fantastic.
I love
Good.
this though, because then we're going to move into another phase of this.
It's gonna need
Oh,
other things
it's like,
completely.
Oh man, I really should have been doing something else.
pretty
yeah.
average at this.
Yeah, it'd be
Got
fantastic.
an average at most of the
All right,
things.
See,
so
I know what my great skill is, and it's different.
It's
so
different,
I'm
yeah.
gonna do good for armor.
Okay.
I think that works.
So this will be armor. Do you have any stunts that particularly help? Any
if we're talking about
any
my-
cool armor stuff that does it?
No, I mean
I don't think you have anything that boosts
I don't
armor
have any
or creating
stunts.
advantage.
Yeah, my stunt is more merciful than actually like
that's
putting on
more
a
an
show.
honor thing.
I have like additional stuff to blast against armor, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all defense more armor than it actually.
So let's just roll this. You have a +3.
Yep.
And let's see how you do. So
So that is 2.
2. So it's base of 2.
Yep.
+3 is 5. Are there any aspects that you would like to invoke to maybe show off like how super cool Earth is, kind of?
Yeah.
Like,
I think I need to. I need like a showmanship.
Yeah.
Sort of.
So
sort
if
of
you
is,
want,
yeah.
you have multiple aspects that could play into, prove the strength of Earth absolutely could come into play here. The whole Lady Lake is an omen of victory. If you're trying to impress her, that could get you another. If you're willing to spend 2 fate points, that puts you at +9, which means forget about that ram dude.
Yeah.
I'm the cool one.
I'm just like the golden girl.
But that spends
2 out of my 3
how
fate
important
points.
is it to you? Which I love it either way, but I think that would. Oh man. How hard do you want to go on this?
I think at this point,
or rather,
I think you want to go pretty whole hog on this one.
Yeah, it's like how
this
important.
one feels like.
How important is this moment to All Will?
I feel like you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So I gotta go hard.
Do it.
Okay.
Gotta do it.
Give me
Oh, we're
2.
all in.
Hello, champion.
Hello, champion.
All
This
Will
is my
go
glorious destiny.
with +9. Amazing. So. You clank. Wait, you have hooves. How are you doing that?
He's stomping.
Yeah, it's like, he's just like flop, flop. There's another armor suit underneath.
Once for good, 2 for really good.
He flops 9 times. That's the result there. All right. So there's a punch, rocket boost to hit him again, burst of speed to punch him up, and there's a streak of fire as you bring him up, then bring him back down, and the smoke goes, and then laser blast coming out of it as you're just you look amazing.
It's like Laser Floyd. It's everything.
You make a point of blasting an armor suit that was coming up behind Lady Lake.
Yeah.
Her targeting system knew it was coming. She had all the time in the world, but then suddenly it's threat negated, and you turn around and you're just
You're welcome.
super, and then you completely ruin the image by going.
Senpai noticed.
Yeah. So you look incredible. As the fight winds down, there's just a sea of damaged armor suits, and the last one kind of falls and everything, and you're there. The crowd is going nuts, all this stuff happening, and then at first you think there's fireworks happening. There's like something is going up into the sky, and then you kind of lock on with target things. What is that?
Oh dear.
It's Caliburn, Arthur's armor. It is going into space.
The hell it is.
It's got a massive lead at this point, because you don't really see it until it's streaking with fire, entering orbit. And Lady Lake, your uplink to Merlin activates, and he says, "My lady, I have some news.
Well, is it good, Merlin?
I have yet to ascertain that, which is why I am taking Arthur's armor. He no longer has a direct link to me as a result. Could you please go to him and I can..."
I am already moving as he's walking, as he's talking to me.
Yes.
I'm following.
Yeah. Hate to be a bother.
No, not at all, Merlin. Thank you for informing me so diligently. I'm on it.
Everyone's looking up.
Yes.
I'm gonna start ripping systems from armor and just kind of
Look, everybody.
Pocketing them.
That is, I don't know. That is going to be noticed. That is going to. Would you like to anyway? Would you like to just be like, oh, this is a neat piece, and just you can't really.
I mean,
Pocket
but,
it.
you know.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
just
actually,
like-
no, you might have like mining bays for ore. You may actually
Like-
have some.
Like,
Mech pockets.
the mechanic in me is telling me that I just
Cargo pants.
have to improve my armor.
There's a little
My
polo
question
shirt
for
pocket.
you is this:
Mech.
your tendency to grab a few spare components.
Yep.
On a planet where armor is a manifestation of a family's honor, and honor slighted is blood spilled, are you going to be challenged to a duel?
It's very possible.
Okay. I think. Are you okay with that?
I'm
Can you
totally
see this
fine
happen?
with that.
All right.
Like, there's no way that I'm letting all this cool stuff just
Okay, you get
go
some
to.
cool stuff, and you're going to have a little bit of an appointment later on
If I
today.
notice this, I am horrified.
You weren't already horrified.
Oh no, you're after
I mean, I
me.
was
You're on
horrified,
my
but if I
heels.
like catch view of it as we pass,
I don't
I'm
know.
like,
I feel like Arthur's armor and then Lady Lake.
Yeah,
jamming
I'm after
on.
you,
You're
yeah.
you're just.
you horrify me anyway.
Also, as soon
But
as
you
we
know,
see that it's caliber going, I am like, if not at the same time, before them going to Arthur.
Yes.
Because I'm terrified now.
Yes,
That
you will like
Something's happened to
gallop
him.
past. Yeah. That did he have to? Did he leave? Did he die? Did
Yeah.
you know whatever? Because again,
So I'm going to that balcony.
all right. So we reconvene. The skybox there is too small for armor to
Can't
be
just
in.
launch up there.
But
going.
you have gotten the briefing from Merlin on what is going on. I think we see the skybox. You know, I think the outside of the skybox is filled with a giant ram's head. As you just went, like, you know, like you went up and just kind of like went, you know, like vented steam out of the nose and the cloud between you. Just like got out of it, and you climbed the stands of this thing. They understand. So, Merlin, you can replay a little like holographic thing of what Merlin said. Your armor is near enough that you've got like a little table to show what's going on. And he says, "My King Arthur, I detected an attempt to sabotage the Caliburn suit. Someone was attempting to gain access. I attempted to defy this sabotage remotely and discovered that I could not. I could, however, access the automatic flight systems, and so I have brought it to the worm gate for closer inspection. I deem that it is likely unsafe for you to use it until it has been thoroughly examined." Arthur's just kind of good, you know, because it's a rough thing to not have your armor, you know. But he just nods and says, "I understand."
Merlin, were you able to get a glimpse of who may have been trying to sabotage, or some kind of indication to help us?
Nothing showed up on optics, I'm afraid.
Unfortunate.
Again, I am uncertain. I just noticed a peculiarity in the systems, and it was clear that an intruder was present and fiddling about. But I was not able to ascertain anything in any detail. But it seems there is a saboteur on the world.
When exactly did it happen? While we were fighting?
His was
At
parked.
the end?
His was still parked. So someone was trying to access his armor while you guys while all that was going on.
Did it happen early on or late in the...
He
I would assume
noticed
late.
it. He noticed it towards the end of the
Okay.
battle, and instantly was just like, "Well, you know, get that out of there." Arthur's actually going to turn to Monty and just say, "Do you have any idea what they might have been trying to do? Something that Merlin could not detect?"
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I need a little bit of a closer look at what would, I mean, I can build you something to get up there, but without seeing what was occurring, Merlin, can you give me some indication of what you detected?
I can give you my report once I have thoroughly examined the armor. It will take time, however.
Good. Send me details as soon as you get, not a full report, just details as it comes in. So.
By the way, I just picture you when you said I could build you something, just like holding up the spare parts.
Well, that's in the van.
That's in the van.
I grabbed some stuff I'm going to have to pay for later, but I mean, I can build you something to get you going.
Wilmot at this point is like, I am so dreadfully dismayed by this turn of events. I fully understand if you need to deal with this situation and forfeit the turn.
Yeah. Do you?
We won, right?
Like, we
Yeah.
totally won.
Well, this was the qualifier to see who faces the champion.
Yeah.
But if you are required to withdraw, then
Did I win?
King,
Now.
No,
Is it
because
King? Is it King Wilmot? Lord
Titan.
Titan Wilmot. Do you have like security cameras so that we can see what happened out there?
I can, of course, investigate the matter.
this is a slight against us. Someone on this world attempted to steal from us. This is against our honor. We can't back down from the tournament against this.
But we also can't let this slide.
Are you accusing my household, madam?
No, I'm saying we can't take this and back down. We can't leave the tournament.
Did we all qualify, or did only she qualify? I'm trying to figure out what the results of the
if you're
tournament
sort of
are.
like, so how did we do?
Yeah.
Did we win?
Well,
Yeah,
if
what
we check
happened?
the thing, and he shows you, like, he brings up screens of what you all were doing, and like we just see like a sort of in like Avengers when they're showing like lots of stuff going on. You're like the extra that they didn't tell too much to, so you're just kind of going. Just like the same, sort of, kind of thing. Doesn't look super impressive. Lady Lake looks cooler. She's definitely doing some sweet stuff. They keep showing a replay of his highlight thing, but then they show like her whole reel is a highlight reel.
Yep.
And he says, Arthur and I agreed that. So I will definitely prove herself worthy of facing the champion, unless you have other matters to attend to. At this point, the door slams open, and a dude comes in. He's a little bit bruised, and everything, and he just points straight at Monty and says, "You!"
Remember how I told you before that I was going to have to pay for some stuff? This might be the guy I have to pay.
He stomps over and he's like, "You dare
he won't
lay
get
hands
to him."
on my father's armor, my grandfather's armor."
God, I'm not with him.
Listen, you had some really, really cool stuff that you weren't taking advantage of in the right way. Let me show you how it can be used in like a cohesive. It's gonna be awesome.
You doubt my combat prowess.
Did you see my boy here?
My concern is your use. And he draws a blade.
Yeah, I'm coming at him.
I'd
There's no
step
way.
Yeah.
in front.
Do I have weapons?
You've got like a wrench.
Got like a little hand drill going on. Torque wrench.
All right.
I'll draw whatever I have to.
So he's standing. He's not advancing. He just draws the blade. You start moving. Arthur actually puts a hand on your shoulder.
Okay. He's gonna have a pretty good grip.
Arthur's actually not bad.
Okay.
But also, if the hand of your king goes on
Just
your shoulder, what
But
do you do?
Yes.
the
Yes,
I am the shield of my companion.
Okay.
Uh,
So you're moving over there. So he like like tries to restrain you, do you shrug him off and just like,
Like for an instant, yes, and then I'm like,
and then you realize, okay,
Oh.
nice.
Yeah,
I
I
love it.
probably
There's that moment of
shouldn't
You're like,
oh. And Wilmont, kind of looks over as if this is just, like, oh, someone brought cake.
Someone brought cake.
Do you have a matter of honor to settle, Sir Bloven?
Sir, what now?
Bloven.
His name isn't important. I'll kill him in a moment.
He says, this thief stole components from my damaged armor, and I will not let that stand. Oh. I mean, I suppose you could return the pieces. The taking of the armor itself, that was a very unchivalrous act, I'm afraid. Well, it is a matter simply settled. Since armor is a point of contention, though, I imagine a more formal duel with blades would settle the matter. That is our custom, after all.
All right, yeah. I mean, sure. I can throw something together. I don't know if I have a blade.
Oh, a blade could be provided. We have plenty.
Okay.
Yeah,
You got like an armory I can look through. So here's what I want to do. I want to craft a miniature plasma blade for this duel.
Okay.
Now that I've seen it, I want one.
Okay. So you want he brings a sword, you bring a lightsaber is the idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want one.
Okay. So you're like, I'll get my own sword.
Yeah.
Just if you can provide me a workshop kind of.
Yeah, like or let me get back and jump back into my armor.
Okay.
I left my blade in my other pants. If I can get back to my armor there.
Arthur is kind of watching this like, I do not wish to lose one of my knights to this affair. Surely we can solve this without bloodshed. Almost like, well, if it's not solved by spilling blood, it's not really solved at all. But I suppose it doesn't have to be to the death.
It doesn't have to be. Didn't say it couldn't be.
Well, mistakes do happen.
This one is not your dad.
Yes, Sir Bloven, these are our guests. So, first blood only. I'll say 2 hours' time.
Yeah, that works for me.
Will give us something to do over lunch. Well, I will have my people look into this distressing matter, and then later today we can move on to the main event, yes?
Of course.
You are most gracious.
Very well. Well, we'll adjourn from now then. Oh, if you wouldn't mind moving your suit, it's blocking the view. Thank you very much. Just like with the owner of a giant ram, you are parked illegally in a civilian zone. Could you? All
Yeah,
right.
I will move it.
So,
Loading and unloading zone only.
Yeah.
so
The non-biped or biped only zone.
So
Is that the white zone?
there's no parking a ram. So is it a Dodge?
Get it,
I
dog?
was saving that.
I'm robbing you of it. Pun count is at 2, I believe. You got some time. You're not going to be super useful during the armor investigation thing, as you now have a lightsaber to construct. So
Oh, yeah.
that's
Working
the
on
thing
that.
there. What is everyone else going to be doing during this kind of downtime? Like Lady Lake, what would you want to do?
I'm going to try and since Excalibur is a close interpretation of Caliber,
I would kind of know what it would take in order to, for someone else to get in there.
So you want to examine your own
I want to
systems.
examine my systems with Merlin to help him and further this investigation.
Okay, so you want to be looking at
because
that.
we can't see Caliber, but we've got a good copy of it.
It's close. You have actually the software is
It's very close.
similar. Yeah.
Right. It's only like 0.1 off.
Yeah.
Like,
Yours is actually a slightly later iteration, I think,
Oh, that's
or actually a slightly better one because they kind of cobbled it together.
Yeah.
From, and this was actually programmed fully by Dr. Block.
exactly.
Okay, so you're going to be doing that.
I am getting ready because I know that I cannot withdraw.
Yes.
I have.
So you have to.
I am the champion,
Yes.
and for the honor of our group, and for the honor of Arthur, who not as cool, but still very cool.
And for Lady Lake.
Lady Lake. I need to make sure that my armor is in fighting shape.
Yep.
I need to make sure that it's back. I obviously took a few blows in the melee, so I need to make sure that those are all hammered out and polished and taken care of. So I'm taking care of my own armor as well.
Okay, so you're gonna be just like doing the pre-fight montage, prep.
Yeah.
Trunk, what are you up to?
I'm pretty much sticking with Arthur wherever he goes.
Oh, because that whole thing.
It's a good call.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not in the fact that somebody tried to get into his armor. Like, I'm on high alert now.
Very well. All right, so you'll mostly be sticking with him then. Okay. So a couple things. I have some ideas here, but first, you need a lightsaber.
I absolutely
Yeah.
do.
All right.
You do.
They bring you to a workshop that has, different equipment and everything, and you can definitely kind of do it. So that you're trying to sort of advantage that you can then use during the fight. That should be fairly straightforward. But, what does this look like? What do we see on screen as you are, as they bring you into a workshop that actually has, tools that were made for this and not for, completely different things?
So this thing is eyes wide, I need this, and then sort of pan to, Tony starts building the second version of the arc reactor, where it's the second version, where it's honing everything and making it all work and trying to get everything just so, and to the point where I want to end up with built only that just plasma sword, not yet fusing plasma, an actual sword
made of plasma, which I don't know what the armor was before, but I can do whatever they had better.
Theirs was an internal frame that had
So that was cool, but
Yours would
I
be
can
better.
do it much better.
Yeah.
So I want it to be, but I also want it to be sort of flaming, almost serrated plasma, flaming plasma.
A serrated lightsaber.
Well, basically, the plasma is sort of edging
Unstable,
off.
a
Yeah.
Okay, let them
I've only got 2 hours.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. All right. Cool. So let's do this as a create advantage thing. This is obviously a smithy roll.
Yep, I'm great at smithing.
You are pretty good at smithy. That is kind of your deal. So let's give that a roll. 4 dice, and you have a +4. You are great. And then we'll see if you need to do anything with that. You were at a +6. So it was to create this. Normally, it would probably be at I think it would normally be at a +3. My default for an unopposed thing is usually +2, but this is new technology. You're explicitly iterating on it and going the extra mile. So I think it was a difficulty of 3, which means you have succeeded with style. So
as well, I always do.
Are we allowed to write lightsaber? Is there going to be a copyright thing for that?
We could just go with plasma sword.
Plasma sword.
Serrated
Plasma.
Plasma.
We can put plasma in quotes so we all know it's really a lightsaber. But
yeah, we'll do that. There we go. So we have serrated plasma sword. And for creating an advantage, creating an aspect on, in the story, you get one free invocation of that aspect. Succeeding with style, beating the difficulty by 3, means you get an extra one. And you can spend a fate point on this as well. So this is potentially a +6 to your duel when we get to that.
I like it. I like it too.
So, moving on from there, I want to do Lady Lakes last because that's like the most plot-centric kind of thing. So, let's go to over to Alwilda.
Sure.
So you're doing diagnostics on your systems. You got through that
Checking
fight.
things over.
You used some power and everything. You've recharged and such, but your armor came out pretty unscathed. As you were you were feeling it. You were in the zone.
Yeah.
So you're checking through these, and then you hear someone approaching. Like in the hangar kind of area where you are, there's like boot steps coming your way.
All right.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna check it out, see who's coming.
There's-
I'm working, but
Yeah.
I'm being aware.
There's a man coming.
He is wearing a uniform and has a sword at his hip and a veil across his face. You've seen him before.
Yes, I have.
One of the bodyguards of Titan Camelot. He comes up to your armor and looks up where you're probably like, is it like open?
Yeah.
Still working on it, And he says, so I will.
Yes. Hello.
My lady wishes to speak with you. Please follow me.
Okay, just 1 moment to close this off.
I'll tell you right now, this is a problem.
Yeah.
Actually, we'll get to it in a bit, actually. We'll wait to see it before I do the fifth.
I know that to refuse would be an insult. Yeah. Because I know a lot of sort of the ins and outs of...
Yeah, your chivalry up.
Yeah, my chivalry is really good. So I know that this is both complicated and also that I can't really outright refuse without it being insulting.
Possibly she just wishes to congratulate you on how awesome you are or anything like that. That's
Right. So I finish up what I'm working on because I don't want to leave anything sort of mid-repair, It's just
Kind of
kind
like dashboard half open.
Yeah.
Go get lunch. I'm sure the saboteur won't.
totally cool.
Welcome back.
So I finish up what I was working on, I lock everything down.
He brings you off to private chambers. The door opens and he nods you through. His counterpart is standing on the other side of the door.
Okay?
And it shuts behind you. And Lady Harlock is there at the table. She has some wine, and she says, so Elizabeth, thank you for accepting my invitation.
Down.
You fought very well in the arena.
Thank you very much.
You bring honor to Ireland.
Oh. Thank you.
And thus you bring honor to me.
Yeah. Of course. Right. Yeah.
Is,
With lies.
yeah, you picked the wrong moon to be from. Are you okay with this complication as a player? Do you think this is interesting?
I do think it's interesting.
You need a fate point, so I'm trying to help
I
out.
do, yeah. I'm gonna take it.
Alright, so the basics of this complication is she's kind of going to be blackmailing you a bit. You're going to be kind of in her power. Not to, she doesn't mind control or anything, but there's that.
She's got coming over.
Yes. Alright, are we cool with this?
Yes. Yeah.
Let's do this. So, underneath. What do we call this? Under Harlock's thumb? Yeah. Yeah, that totally wasn't going to come up at all. No. You have the triple stolen armor painted with lines. No one's going to notice. I was livery on them. So, I definitely did my homework. That's what we're up to. Meanwhile, up with you. So we're just staying with that. Yeah, I may have a cost of a few building as that was coming a little too fast for Arthur. Yeah, but are you looking for a soft companion? Did you? I mean, I'm not looking for one, but I'm on high alert because of all of this stuff going on. Yes. The attempts on Arthur's life, there's a mech being taken away, his armor being taken away. So, like, there's been a couple times where, like, somebody's come up with, like, a drink for Arthur, and he's like, maybe pushed a little too hard. Slap out of the hand, hand out to the canteen. Let's drink it before the tea. So, can we think of any interesting complications from this that we could get that's juicy enough for it could be basically like wound up too tight where where something could seem psychologically the whole situation's basically got you at the boiling point. Yeah. Okay. I kind of like that. Alright. So, I know who's behind the scenes here. Alright. Yeah. So, we could use that against you. Let's see. What would be, should we do this as just an aspect, or should we, is there something more than that? I feel like we'll use that now. That doesn't going to come into play yet. It's not going to come into play, but it could very well come into play in a negative way if we start accusing the wrong people. And I think that might be it. Yeah, how likely is it that near the climax of this, you will go the completely wrong way? I mean, it's possible. Seeing the exact wrong enemy and example, me participating in a duel is not particularly helpful to finding out who's sabotaging the armor, but it's going to be really interesting for me as a character. But it's also not necessarily your character's goal. Right, this is a bad thing that happened, but we all get to see a lightsaber fight and get to see possibly the least out-of-armor combat-y of all of you go toe-to-toe with an actually not, pretty decent fight. So you are actually driving out for a little bit nuts, no doubt, but he's alive. Yeah, that's to be annoying. And this is one of those things. Arthur doesn't give someone commands. You guys are here because he said who volunteered. It's the round table kind of thing. You serve because you choose to. And so he can't really tell you no, So you actually spend much of the afternoon in seclusion with Arthur, away from robots and everything. Partially because you see threats everywhere, partially because Arthur doesn't want to embarrass Earth in front of robots. But you can really calm down. You're like, not gonna. Plan it, Arthur. So, let's get to Raymina. You are with your armor, you gotta go through. And like going through. For this, you are trying to figure out what method they used, or right. Whether it's someone who actually knows what they're doing and how to bypass the systems, or if they just tried to brute force their way into caliber. So basically, see what kind of person we're dealing with. Based on what kind of system access could you get that Merlin couldn't detect through metadata. Right. Basically. Okay. So this, there is an aspect in play here, that this person has an aspect that is undiscovered, but you are trying to kind of find it. I think this is a clear advantage action that you are taking. This one's all software stuff. I think this is going to be lore rather than smooth. That's fine. Really good at lore. You are good at lore. This is what you do. You are good at lore. All doctors will be at lore. Yep. Alright, so go ahead and give me a roll. 2. Okay. I have lore great, which is +4. Okay. So do you have any particular stunts? Not on your armor, obviously. I don't think it is. You yourself, what's your stunt? I have limited size, which is +2 to create knowledge-based advantages regarding emergent technology. Emergent technology. So specifically, if this is an emergent threat, rather than, but you haven't seen swarms of robots in the sky. You haven't, there's no giant floating Medusa head in orbit. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a threat that could be possibly emerging. I myself am a clone, so the odds of no DNA also having a clone isn't that far-fetched. Or some kind of the odds of the evil side of what I am is not far-fetched. And I'm not ruling it out. Well, you do succeed with style. Yes. And you do get your stuff points. Also terrible. Let's see.
You figure out basically how you would go about this and realize that it operates on like this crazy software level that is basically impossible for a human to achieve.
Great.
And the way it would have to do it to be at the underlying level, it would have to be done physically, but like attaching to almost any part of the armor and using kind of like vibrational tech or things like that. It's sort of like making its own Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
to access systems there. So it's not going through a normal port. So Merlin's like, none of the ports are being affected, but there's data happening.
Yeah,
Like,
what is this?
Shut it down, deal with
Yeah.
it. Parasitic design is the aspect these things have.
Great.
You have 2 free invocations if you want to mess with that stuff. Do you want to let anyone know about this?
Yes.
Okay. So,
But I'm gonna be really discreet about it.
just like
I'm not gonna announce it during the
you're
tournament.
But you're gonna be like, I should go talk
I
with
should
Arthur, maybe
talk
give
with
a little.
Arthur
All right.
and yeah.
So when you're heading back through the halls from the hangar to Arthur, and as you come around the corner, there's a servant. You know, the servants that you've seen so far, they have like hoods, you know, and they're just like they're almost like faceless minions of the Titan. You know,
One of the ones you haven't hit.
and one of them, you know, comes around. You come around the corner, and one of them's coming towards you, and then they bolt upright, and you can see the face is just a mesh of cables going into this guy's head, and he kind of looks up and goes with this like metallic scream, and explodes.
Oh. Oh
Have a
my.
fate point for assassination attempt. So,
Oh my.
you are.
Yeah,
what is your trouble again?
I am Mergiana's primary target.
Right.
That's right.
And
I forgot.
and you've just discovered that the emergents are on world, and you're like, oh, I better let
I
Arthur
better
know.
let Arthur know.
Oh, wait, I better let me know.
Oops.
So, I am going to roll for exploding dude.
Okay.
Don't worry, you won't be splashed
I'll
with
be
organs.
okay.
He's mostly been replaced by
Yeah,
C4.
it's just mostly circuits.
He's just
You're just
he's
gonna
just
be
a
splashed
bundle
with
of incendiary grenades and things. Sure. My supply is a little depleted. So he invokes Walking Bomb. That makes a +6 that you have to defend against. Dude comes up, screeches, and you see like the light coming out of him, and he's about to explode. How do you defend? Is it just
Is there anyone else in the hallway? Oh, so we're good.
the hall and then just you? So
Okay.
no, like grabbing another servant.
No, I wasn't gonna
That would
do
be
that,
amazing.
But
Peasant, defend me!
defend me.
Absolutely what you would do.
Die for your betters.
I would have dove in front of you, but I'm not there.
Not there.
I'm being
It's like you trying to
blackmailed.
figure out if you can unleash.
Yeah.
You should definitely unleash.
Unleash.
Well, I'm not near my armor.
You're not in your
that's
armor.
right.
I'm not in
Yeah,
my
you're
armor,
not in your
so
armor.
it's just me.
Just
It's
you.
just a lady in a dress with
Just a
It's an
squishy
empty
clone.
hallway. There's not like, like suits of armor.
Well,
Decorating.
armor. Remember, armor in this is like and a half.
Okay, so
there
smaller.
may be like crossed swords, maybe like shields and things, on occasional places. So
Is there a balcony nearby? Like, am I walking in a hallway near a balcony? Because I'll just grab off the balcony.
We haven't established anything about this hallway. We know the culture of this place. That there's grudges and everything. I feel like, based on the grudges thing and everything, there's probably more arrow slits or like gunnery slits than actual.
Okay.
However, now one of the things you can use a fate point for is to declare a story detail. The whole old grudges never die kind of thing could also mean that there's like shields up that carry the markings and heraldry of subservient houses or defeated foes or things like that. If you want to declare that one of those is within arm's reach, I could see that. It would cost you a fate point. Why don't we see your roll and then see if such a thing needs to be done? So how are you avoiding this in general? Is this just get the hell out of the blast radius? Is this I stand there and take it because I'm that
Because
tough?
I'm awesome.
You know, I feel like zeal is usually the defense, you know, for get out of the way. The dodging, like the action hero, whoa, slow motion dive is zeal.
But I'm not really all about running or moving about, because I am a warrior, so...
Well, there's a lot of running, jumping, and things like that. Actually, so...
Just do what I do and
So
talk away on the
what is
blast.
your instinct? This guy is right in front of you about to explode. What do you imagine Lady Lake doing?
diving over top of him to protect anybody in the
there's-
vicinity
there's-
or the building.
You think
Like-
you're the target.
Oh no, I am the target.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So hugging the bomb is probably. I mean, if you just want to help him, we can, I can just inflict.
I think he's beyond helping. He's.
Yeah. No, but help him in his duty to destroy you.
Oh no.
I mean, I could just inflict
No,
a
I don't
6
wanna
shift
do
hit
that.
on you. I'm okay with that.
Don't let him do
I'm
that.
not.
So I could see. Would you like me to float some options?
Yeah.
I like that shield thing.
Possible options are try to just get over to the wall as fast as you can, to try and do that. Barring that, trying to just put distance between yourself and the guy. Alternatively, maybe a really strong "This is Sparta" kick.
Yeah.
Might put some distance between.
I think I'm just gonna.
just like,
I'm
oh god,
just gonna
and just try to
boot him
because again,
as far down the hallway
he's been
as
hollowed
possible.
out to fill with explosives.
Yeah.
He might be lighter than normal.
Yeah.
How heavy
Okay.
is C4?
Just like in the split moment, look behind. There's nobody in the hallway. Okay,
oh,
this
God.
is gonna hurt.
And it's just like bang,
Sparta,
try to
yeah.
move him.
Just
so
Sparta
this is,
kick.
So this is just
shoulder charge.
this is just pure strength at
Yeah,
this point.
this is strength.
So that is a vigor
Okay.
roll, I believe, is the
Okay.
is the thing. So that so what is your vigor skill?
My vigor is average.
You think?
I'm a lady. Let's be honest.
Okay. Well, I mean, you are a warrior. You are a bioengineered warrior, but
All
you are
right,
a clone
so-
of Dr. Locke. I could see it either way. She was kind of the bookworm.
I'm fair.
Okay. Put yourself in a
I'm a
+2.
little bit better than Dr. Locke would be in this situation, but I'm not.
You're a little
I'm
younger.
not a tank.
You exercise
Right,
more.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
So give yourself vigor at +2, and roll it for me
Okay.
as you try to just boot this
Sparta
dude.
kick
just,
this guy out of the way.
that looks like a -1, a plus, minus, minus, and blank. So -1. So you get a 1
1.
on this.
He got a 6.
Yeah, and there's not a lot you can invoke towards doing this, right? Any aspects in I mean, you are the warrior clone. You could do that if you want to spend the fate point, or you could just take this and let it happen.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Being that she would have just figured out that the emergent was involved,
Yeah.
could that put her a little bit on alert that maybe being that she is the target, that she Like, could she use the fact that she now knows the emergent are on world somewhere?
She can't use the parasitic design one. I don't think it's one of the.
No, I'm not saying to use the parasitic
Yeah.
design, but to use that she's the primary target.
Yeah, you
Like-
could spend to invoke the very aspect that I compelled against you.
Yeah.
If you want to maintain, just to give me back that fate point. But if you want to keep it,
No.
then
I'm just thinking
No,
like,
you can have this.
I'm just thinking like she would probably be on alert.
consequences
To
are
know.
cool. Remember, you don't always have to succeed, and also that would only get it. That would just slightly mitigate the hit.
Oh, so it would
Yeah.
it would
She can
never do
but she
anything.
can re-roll it too.
She could re-roll, though generally you want to re-roll when you're at like
Yeah.
-3 or -4. The odds aren't in your favor.
You know what? I'll just take it.
All right, let's see how damage works,
I'll
folks.
take
This is a
it.
good opportunity. So, you can.
Yeah, thanks.
So this, you got a 1. I got a
6.
6. So that is a 5 shift hit. It's called. I beat you by 5. I could, in another circumstance, but since I succeeded with style, remove 2 of those shifts to give myself, a bonus kind of thing. But this guy's not continuing the fight as
Yeah,
he is
he's dead.
He has exploded.
He has exploded. So here you have 5 shifts of damage going in. These can be absorbed in 2 ways. One, by checking off a stress box. Your stress boxes are numbered 1 and 2 for physical. If you're, what is your? Oh, you took the
I just took vigor at +2.
at +2.
Yes.
You actually have a 3rd box for that, which can absorb up to 3 shifts. Or the 2 can absorb up to 2. The 1 can absorb up to 1. Now, you can only check 1 of them. Any further damage has to become a consequence, be absorbed with consequence, or be taken out of the scene, which you probably don't want, because I just might be like, well, you're just dead.
Yeah.
A mild consequence absorbs up to 2 shifts, a moderate absorbs up to 4, and a a severe absorbs up to 6. So you could just say, oh well, you got 5 coming in, so you could just say, I'll take the 6 and just have a horrific injury. Or you could spend the 3 stress box that you have and take, at that point, just a mild.
Yeah, it would just be a mild.
Yeah, because that would absorb 3 of my 5, and then you would have a mild consequence left over, which is probably the best bet, as that means you're far less injured in a lingering way. Stress clears at the end of the scene, by the way. So after the end of the next scene, you'll be fine on stress again.
I think.
You don't want to be taken out. I'll tell you that right now.
I don't want to be taken out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna check off a box,
Check
take
off-
3 of it, and take the mild.
Okay, sounds good. So check off your 3 check box. Mild consequence. What's a good mild consequence? This is an aspect that gets put on your character that bad guys can invoke against you. The person who inflicted on you gets a free invoke, but he is now paced, so we don't have to worry about it. He's like
shrapnel.
He is little bits of meat confetti falling from the sky.
And machine.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Kicked him, right?
Yeah, I think twisted ankle or broken ankle
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah. I think it's probably a joint.
Yeah.
Though I feel like it's either that or it's the burning. But why don't we put? Yeah, why don't we put like wrenched knee
Yeah.
as
I
a mild?
like overextended
Yeah, just like bang, like
because
you're-
like half of him was already
'Cause you're not-
exploded by the
you're not
time
like,
I kicked.
I'll kick and then make sure my leg doesn't overextend by. No, you just put
I just
everything you
kicked.
had into it, and then like flopped backwards and just got a fire. All right, so in your mild consequence slot, write wrenched knee, and that's on there. And people can invoke that against you, and you can compel it against yourself if you want to like not be able to get somewhere. Explosion
Yikes.
goes off as you're like, actually I think we cut to commercial as the guy goes,
as the guy-
and then like we see the explosion from like out, like the arrow slits just like fire comes out. Then when we cut back to commercial, it cuts back to that scene and you kick the dude and fall backwards and just boom. And like various
Ow.
alarms start
Ow.
sounding. And I think at the moment, it took you a while probably to be doing all that diagnostic stuff and figure all this out.
Yep.
So right before the alarms go off, let's have ourselves a duel.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it.
So, you are facing off against Sir Bloven.
Sir Bloven.
And he spends the first part of this just haranguing you, about like, hey, the honor of my family, blah, 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 blah. And you're just sort of like waiting, yep. This is presided over by Titan Wilmot.
Yep.
You're probably there. Arthur wants to preside over this as well. So you're just like, he looks a little...
I'm a little more calm now, but I'm still not.
Yeah. You're actually probably there as well.
Yeah.
I've
finished my meeting.
Yeah, you probably
with,
want to see this, and she's here as well. Harlock's watching. You're all just waiting for Nimue to arrive, but the duel can happen without her. Her presence isn't required. We know she's working on the real mystery.
The real problem.
The real plot. So the dude, squares off against you. And, Titan Wilmot says, "This is a matter of honor to first blood, so please try not to kill each other. If you do, I will be very disappointed to have to order someone to mop the floor. Disputants, are you ready?" He says, like, "I was born ready."
Oh, then we could just say yes, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
We don't have to make
I've
casual
briefed you
choice.
on some protocol stuff.
you gave
I
him all
don't
this- you
I
told
don't
him-
expect you to follow
Yeah, you
it, but
told
I
him
briefed
all
you
of this
because I
protocol
feel
before-
bound to.
Yeah, you were like, all right, when you do that, there's a salute, there's all this stuff, like, and you're like, is everyone ready? You're just like, yeah.
You just say yeah, right? Yes. I am prepared. Oh, wait, I got this. I am ready. Just curtsy straight out.
Yeah.
Ready. Like on this, it's just an E written in red Sharpie. I am Oh, I mean,
Ready.
Ready.
I got it.
It's a monsoon thing.
Yes.
All right. So, Titan Wilmot says, "Disputants, draw blades." And the dude takes out this this crazy weird, exotic alloy sword that was probably passed down from, who knows.
I just bring out the hilt of my sword and hold it in hand.
Wilmot raised an eyebrow. The guy's like,
Sorry.
The dude's kind of like, Wilmot's just like, looks at Arthur. Arthur is grinning like a madman.
I loudly guffaw.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of staring. I'm like, well,
Seems unsporting.
But
okay.
there are no rules against it.
Never-
So
I
Nowhere
don't, like,
in the
I'm
rules
racking
does it
my
say
brain.
a plasma sword can't play duels.
Just
I don't-
waving
Book
around a
out,
bit to make the
like,
noise.
there's
Plasma, Plasma Bud. His name is Bud.
No, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
it's okay.
All right.
It's totally allowed.
Lovin's sort of just like,
Yeah, I know. I think you're fine.
fine. We're still an amateur. And we're gonna
He's not wrong.
do this up. So we'll be rolling against him.
Okay.
And basically winner does something to the other.
Yep.
So he is not a bad swordsman. He's in fact a good swordsman.
Mm-hmm.
And he is actually also a vengeful knight of Arukar.
Yep.
He has that aspect. So would you like him to roll first, you, or should we do this?
Yeah, I mean, he's on the attack.
He's
I'm.
the aggressor. Yeah, he's going to come straight for you.
Yeah.
So I feel like rather than, or actually, should we do a kind of? It makes sense that he goes first.
It
So-
absolutely
yeah,
makes
so
sense that he
he'll
goes
do
first.
his attack. You
Yep.
can defend, and then you can do your attack.
Okay.
So we won't do the full. This is like mini conflict rules. Normally we would determine, initiative order and stuff like that, but this will just be a quick sort of thing. If other people want to interfere and get involved, they could, but that could also have costs. Like we can just keep doing this. You could fight this whole palace one by one. All right, so here we go. Yeah, diving in, you just step in front of his blade.
Fight my own battles, Trunk.
Oh, I know.
All right.
I know you can.
See this?
Here we go.
Right
So,
in his face.
that looks like a -2 on the dice. You know what, Sir Bloven? I feel like you being a vengeful knight. I'm gonna just re-roll it. The odds aren't quite in my favor there, but let's do this. See how he does.
Even.
Exactly the same. Thanks, Bloven. Big fan. I will need you, if you could, to defend against one. Just one.
Yep.
Just one.
What am I using for
I
this?
feel like this is melee most likely. If you're blocking, or you can try to dodge out of the way with zeal.
So, I guess so like trying to cut his sword in half would probably not be a defense on this. Like, would that be a defense? Like, I want to try to.
That would sort of be
Or is that going to be? Or would that be my own attack against
this
him?
is more avoiding his thing.
All right. Yeah. So I'm going to try to avoid him.
You could give yourself a boost to set. If you succeed with style, you could give yourself a boost to.
Yeah. So I want to try to just dodge out of the way.
Okay. What do you have in zeal?
My zeal is probably pretty good.
Okay.
Or no, my physique is probably pretty good.
Your vigor, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? How fast are you at moving around? Your vigor's probably great because
Yeah,
you're good
'cause
you're from a hell world.
Well,
Scrappy.
and I'm also part machine
Yeah,
now.
that's true. Yeah, so how fast do you move?
I mean, being that I'm part machine,
Pretty fast.
I'm probably a little bit faster than the normal person.
Okay, are we talking fair
Fair.
or good? Do you want to spend a
What
good-
are we talking? We're talking zeal or?
This is
I know.
zeal.
I'm trying to figure out what else
Yeah.
would allow me to do. So zeal is straight moving.
It's moving, dodging, kind of stuff. It's for covering ground generally.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with good.
Okay.
Like I've been augmented to
Sure.
enhance myself that way.
Awesome.
So.
All right. Give it to me.
Really bad.
That is a minus
-3
which with a
with
plus
zeal.
makes it a 0.
Which is
So
still
would
better
you-
than
Well,
him.
he got a 1.
Oh,
No,
okay.
he got
got
a
a
1.
1.
Okay.
So now you could move, and as the blade comes in, maybe parry with your sword. Use up one of those free invocations.
Yeah, I mean.
Or you could spend a fate point and invoke maybe your machine mess horrible, thing that you've got.
Well, if I did,
You might just lose.
I would just lose immediately.
He doesn't want to lose.
I don't want to lose because I want the stuff. So I'm gonna my mess of mana machine
Mess of
here
mana
because that
machine.
makes way more sense.
It does. It does. It does.
And
make
I'll
sense.
and I'll do it
Yeah.
+2.
That's another thing about Fate is sometimes there's the mechanically optimal thing, and sometimes there's the thing that makes the most
That
sense.
totally makes the
And
most
you were
sense.
not parrying; you were dodging.
Dodging.
So so you just like machine your way out of it,
Yep.
And he kind of is stumbling in your way. So you just beat him by 1, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So 2 to 1, you make it out of the way. Your retort. What do we see? As he goes to slash at you, and suddenly you just.
And so I care less about this whole first blood thing and more about like this dude didn't need to do. I just had his stuff, so I'm just gonna try to cut his sword in half.
Okay. Oh, geez.
Like this whole
Now-
chivalry and fighting to first blood. This dude's in my way. I'm just gonna kill this
Also with
dude.
a plasma
So,
sword.
are you now? So, yeah, that's true. Yeah, just, I'm not bleeding yet. So here's the here's
Better
the
off
thing.
I think
punching.
I'm going for at least for cutting his sword, but possibly for the kill.
Okay, well, so is your goal? There's a couple goals I see
Yeah.
off of this. Is your goal to just straight up murder him? Just cut through his sword like butter and right in through his chest, and he's just a steaming pile of former human. Or are you trying to break through and be like, yeah, honor's great and all, but you don't want to die like this. The stuff's mine, right?
Yeah.
And get him to set aside this honor thing and just be like, I concede the duel.
I think I'm gonna go for that because I
Okay.
kind of want to humiliate
Okay.
this guy at the
Nice.
same time.
Awesome. So I feel like this is less of a melee roll and
Yep.
more of a daunt, which
Daunt.
is the I'm scary skill.
Is it just I'm scary? It doesn't have anything to do with like being a knight because I'm really bad at that stuff.
Oh no, daunt is the I am scared, I am fearsome. I could read you the description. You know, it
I know
says-
I've got it here.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find it. There we go. The provoke. Yes.
Yes, it
That is-
the be known as a terror of the battlefield. Create advantages from fearsome reputation, do mental stress, that kind of thing.
I'm definitely good at that. Especially I've definitely been improved because I look scary.
True.
So I think I'm good at that.
Okay, so that's your other
Yeah.
good skill.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There's like nothing else I'm really good at.
Okay.
So
I'm fast and I'm scary.
I'm fast and I'm scary.
Fast, I'm scary,
and
I
I
can
can build stuff.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go with
Fast, fearsome, and fixing. We need to do your alliterative thing.
yeah, fast, fearsome, and fixing. That's gonna be my other stunt.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to use my sword and basically like make it so that he has to concede the fight.
because this is like probably his grandfather's sword as well, and just
So that's at a 2 plus 3. That's a 5. I'm gonna invoke to make this a plus 6
just
against
evoking the once.
it for now.
Okay. Okay.
Because or do I have to invoke all my stuff now?
No, you don't have to.
Yeah, I'm
you
making
can-
this a
we,
6
we sort of
against
go
him.
back and forth, and then
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
see
gonna
if
make
he wants to invoke
I'm gonna
him.
make this a 6 against him.
Okay. Well, I mean, honor's good at him. It's not as good. Oh, you can leave that over there. All right. So let's see how he does. So 1. I think he's got. Let's see. Resisting this sort of thing is kind of a determination thing. He's reasonably determined. He's got a +2 to it. That means you got a what? A 6?
I got a +6.
+6. So with his skill, that puts him at you succeeding with style. If he had multiple things to invoke, he could maybe not. But yeah, no. So he comes at you with this heirloom sword. You dodge the strike like you're not even human. And the thing is, you only beat him by +1, so it's like you dodge just enough.
Yep.
Like just the efficiency of movement. Just I'm out, and it's like just going here, and you just lop it off at the hilt. you
Yeah.
know.
At the hilt,
like
not at his hands.
Yeah. So he's just holding this tiny little, the blade.
He's
goes
basically
flying.
holding what I was holding at the beginning of the
Yeah,
fight.
when he was
what
laughing
he was
at.
laughing at.
Yeah.
You then claim the blade.
He doesn't need a blade.
I don't need the blade; it won't fit.
So I feel like we're seeing the,
This is very nice metal.
he looks down just like what, and then the buzzing, pulsating, serrated plasma sword is at his throat. And I feel like all Will does across the room going, "Do you yield?"
Yeah.
I'll just say to the guy, like, should we call a medic?
That'll do.
Do I kill him now? Is that what happens?
No.
No?
No.
They're telling me not to kill you.
I yield, Sir Knight.
Did I win?
I think you won.
I won?
Yeah.
Just sheath the sword. I'm gonna keep that stuff if that's okay with you.
Spoils of war, sir.
Thank you very much. And I'll just saunter away.
Well done, well done.
Yeah.
Boom! There is a distant explosion and alarms start going on.
Fireworks!
Yeah.
Come on. Thank you.
Is this all? I feel like the title of this session is "Wait, that's not fireworks."
Yeah.
At the same time, that's
not
Distant
fireworks.
booms.
Wait, that's not fireworks.
Distant Booms was the name of my solo album, actually. I filmed it recorded outside a studio.
Oh
So-
God.
He,
I was going for
I
that.
just want to let you know, you oblovinated him.
The what?
You oblovinated him.
I don't know.
It was a little bit of a stretch.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
I was working on it the whole. I couldn't come up with anything better. I'm so sorry.
I don't know. What does chat think of Oblovinated? Are they no thumbs up there?
Man, couldn't come up with anything better.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, the next step was just chopping off his legs, then his
It's
arms.
been- yeah, it's just
That was subtle. I like that. That was good. He's got it.
yeah.
I made a rule prior to the session that Monty Python references, because we are doing King Arthur, are either forbidden or they have to be subtle enough that we don't go off on a huge tangent of quoting the movie. And that one was good. So,
I said nothing.
yes,
We
it's good.
stopped.
So,
I'm physically in pain.
It was
Yes.
it was
Yes,
hard,
yes.
but I said
Yeah.
nothing.
just rupturing, your organs are turning to explosives.
Screaming internally, but it's fine.
So,
Oof.
I feel like everyone's like, what? By the time you like, or do you run away? Do you stand by Arthur?
I mean, Arthur's right there.
I'm following Arthur, who I'm assuming is going towards
Yeah.
It has occurred to me that she is not with us.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
And she still isn't with
Yeah.
us. Like, I was distracted by the fight while
Yeah.
it was happening, so it was really cool.
I
But
feel like there's the boom, then the alarms happen,
And then the
and
realization.
then just like before, as you start to move, like Arthur says, hold a moment, Titan, are we under attack? And he's like, well, I'll check with one of my people and everything. Like he like, not,
Well,
and there's a
wow.
moments of uncertainty, and then like after a bit, the door opens and you're like, you've got smoke on you and everything, and step into the room.
I just step and fall
Yeah,
because
just-
me.
Oh yeah. Are you immediately at her
oh
side?
yeah, I am like right there. Like, what
Is
happened?
no
Are
one
you-
going to acknowledge how cool this was?
It was very cool, but she's.
No, the dude, Wilbon.
No, I'm just.
So she enters in the door. The door, like, did I miss it?
Yeah.
And like steps in, and then.
It was so cool, but Art, what happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So a few minutes pass of getting you to a chair. They bring you water. Like. And we have. You can now explain what you've discovered. What's going on.
Oh.
If you want, this could be in Arthur's chambers.
Yes.
Uh,
I'd like not outside.
It's the four of you and Arthur, ensconced. He actually said to Wilmot, "I need to see to my people. We will, deal with it."
We'll reconvene.
And
Yeah.
when you're
Lean
settled,
on me. I'm your crutch.
When you're settled, he
Way
says,
out.
"Firstly, are you all right?"
I
We'll be fine, sire.
a little banged up, but nothing that I can't handle.
Can someone tend to that knee?
Before that, I've discovered that the emergent is here. That's what happened. I was on my way to view your duel, which you seem to have come out unscathed. Props to you.
Good job.
Can I get the brace for her?
She's probably work. I was looking up how recovery rolls work, what people use to treat the injury. I think it might just be.
And that's when it happened. I was attacked.
Yeah, basically any action that justifies the recovery. So you.
I want to smith a
up
brace for her.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, just roll. The difficulty is +2.
That's +4.
Awesome. So you
It's a really good brace.
your
Get out of made out of.
what was your aspect on
Out
that?
of the blade.
Can I make it out of the blade?
Out of the guys.
It's the best brace ever.
Lord. Absolutely, yes. I am delighted.
P.S. If we ever get to, if I ever have to roll chivalry, that's like terrible.
You may not even have it.
I
probably don't.
definitely
Just take a
do not
+0
have
on
it.
it.
It's
That's
going to
fine.
be a +0.
So what was the consequence on you called?
The consequence on me was
Like wrenched knee or something like that?
Wrench knee?
wrench knee.
All right, so now it's splinted knee. You know, so your leg's kind of straight. It's still bugging you, but
It's still gonna hinder me. But
yeah.
It's
You
not
gotta
as
sword.
bad.
At the that'll affect you through the next scene.
Okay.
But after that it'll clear up. So by the end of this adventure you'll be fine.
Cool.
If you live.
So I love, by the way,
Yeah.
that you're like, you know, it's like someone tender her knee. She's like, you know, before that, more important matters.
More important.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on making it out alive. Good
That's
Well,
the
he's
most-
putting a splint together with the blade. He's like, got this.
Bending
Oh,
it
and
into
by the way, emergent. You know.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the explosion was an immersion machine, self-detonating. I learned that in order to whatever was happening with Caliber was not through normal channels, which points it towards emergent, being able to tamper with it.
A new form.
A new form, yes. Some kind of vibration technology or setting up a parasitic system. I believe they were trying to take over Caliber so that when the next time you stepped in it, you were trapped.
What it looked like? Worse.
It
No, the emergent.
She doesn't know.
That blew up
You want
in
to
your
attack.
face. The one that blew up in our face.
It looked actually like a person that had been turned into a bomb.
no offense meant, Monty, it looked as if it was you
Yeah.
or
Hang on,
someone
I've got a
like
picture
you.
right here. Just a mirror.
Oh, that's ugly. That's horrible.
Hideous.
Terrifying.
Wait a minute.
How could anybody look at that?
This isn't a picture, it's moving. You got a hologram of this guy.
But worse, like possessed of sorts. And then nothing. I mean, there's mist in the hall where it was, if you'd like to investigate, but
If you'd like to interview the scorching on the wall.
Yes, please.
Sir, a comment for our viewers at
Comment
home.
for our viewers, please.
What was it like being turned into a bomb?
How did that feel? What fuel source did you use?
4 and 11.
Could you just let me know, like, what
Could you just tell me how to build that for myself? Without the whole dying thing.
Yeah. Troubling. And it seems that my armor only escaped this fate because of the Merlin uplick.
yes, very fortunate.
We still have matters to attend to here, but I want to get them over with as soon as possible.
The sooner the better, sir.
Awilda, this is all falling on you.
I won't disappoint.
Nimue, please examine her armor systems and before she enters.
At once.
Not
She like goes to get up and she's
sit for a moment.
Let me finish.
Smacks me with it.
Can I study the design, the parasitic design, and see if I can find a way to
Mess with-
like
You
not?
need-
I don't want to mess with it. I want to prevent.
So-
I want to like prevent it from affecting her or him or her.
She knows more the theory behind it. You'd have to know more about the delivery mechanism, which is you'd need to find the thing that did it.
Right.
You know, you'd have to find the physical thing.
So she's just finding the software.
She found out, like,
The aftermath
she's like,
happened.
oh God, there is a security vulnerability here.
Oh,
you
okay.
know,
So it's the security
like,
vulnerabilities in her armor. She didn't get
It's-
like the report from Merlin.
It's no, that wasn't the direct report from Merlin. They were
Okay.
looking at those systems and everything and seeing like how, kind of using the two of them. you know.
Oh, okay.
So that's the basic thing. Like Arthur's armor, as far as they can tell, is more or less okay. But he wants to do he's basically with Arthur's armor, he's going down, checking the systems down to the barest level of code.
Right.
With her, they were sort of working on how would you do this if you were going to do it?
Okay, so this is like a design flaw. It's not like we haven't found
It's
the
not
parasite that's doing it.
exactly.
No.
At one point, I heard that something had to be touching it.
Yeah, she figured out the means by which
we
it
haven't
could be
found
done.
that.
Yeah, she's got a theory that she feels pretty strongly about, but we haven't found the thing that actually. It's like there must be a moth with a really long proboscis for this,
Yes.
lily to exist like this.
Right, okay.
But no one has ever seen one, and then eventually you find it. The evidence is there, but
not the
yeah, you haven't actually.
That's
found
what
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I misunderstood.
Yeah, you would need to. She didn't find a
didn't
big
find the
bug sitting on
parasite.
because her armor was untouched.
Right.
And his armor is in space.
Okay, I misunderstood.
So that's
So
where that
I'll
is.
continue to wait for the report from Merlin to see if we find the thing.
Yes. And he's literally going through the code line by line because Mergiane is super insidious, and it wouldn't take much to mess with a system, in space. Just even door ajar, that would be.
That's enough.
That's all you need, And again,
Yep.
attempts on Arthur's life. All right, so I think. I think we get to the final now.
I think we're champion versus champion.
I think it's champion versus
I
champion.
think so.
Your armor's fine.
Okay, good.
Neither of these two find anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. We don't need to roll dice to find nothing. For this final battle, the somewhat damaged armor suit. Nothing was really destroyed. These things are hardy, but they did need repairs. The suits of all those knights are lining the arena in kind of like an honor guard sort of thing. The knights themselves are, in the crowd. Many of them have their own private boxes. They're drinking, they're nursing injuries, and everything. But it's kind of this wall of soldiers standing at attention as an honor thing. It's the armor is witnessing the clash of the champions. You guys are not subject to that same custom. You could lean into it if you want to have your armor there. Where do you want to be? What do you want to do?
I'd like my armor to be there.
Okay. So, and are you watching from the skybox with Arthur, or are you watching from your armor?
I'm conflicted because I'm concerned for cheating and stuff.
Yes.
That I don't want to leave you exposed, but I also don't want to leave Arthur exposed.
Well,
Alright, so
let me help you with that. I'm going to be at Arthur's side. I'm not going to be in my armor.
I'm
Not
kind
in
of
the.
the opposite of that. I sort of have this feeling that I want to help her cheat. So
What's your highest skill?
Chivalry?
Yeah, I know, but
She doesn't
what I'm
have to
saying
know
is
about it.
that
That's a
so,
point.
So me knowing that this is the parasitic design, and aren't all these armors pretty much based on the same sort of code?
Yeah, basically.
That's what I'm concerned with too.
So I want to be
It's
in
not
my
going to
armor,
be a
which
one-on-one
isn't
fight.
designed based on any of the rest of them.
Okay, so that if
So
stuff
if
starts
something
happening,
goes
goes
down,
south.
start.
I want to be in the honor line, so it's really
so there's
cool
just-
looking knights and then bard, which is just
garbage.
And then on the other side, there's a ram.
Yeah, okay, so you're at one end of the arena, you're at the other, kind of bookending it as, these people were this guy was also really cool, and the rest, sort of.
So I want to be
have
I want to be
Excalibur
with the
in there,
damage
too?
side because I feel
Excalibur is in there, but
that-
it doesn't have a pilot.
I'll
Yeah.
fit in really nicely
Yeah.
there with all the
That's
damage
true.
and
Well,
stuff.
sort of, yeah.
Plus,
that's
I've
true.
got
Some of
other
them
people's damage stuff.
Yeah,
to
pockets
fix my
full of.
stuff. So I want to watch this from within my armor.
I'm
Okay.
just picturing
Okay.
a mech with cargo pants on.
Yeah,
Basically,
And
Well,
it's
so how about this?
amazing
So
in my
basically
head.
looking at Big Daddy style,
Awesome.
Bioshock
Yes,
Big Daddy.
fantastic.
So you're
like
both by Arthur's side, but you want your armor to be.
No, I'm gonna be in my armor.
Oh, you're gonna be
If
in
she's
your armor.
staying with Arthur,
Okay,
I
okay.
will
I'm with
be in my
Arthur.
armor.
Sounds good. So why don't we do this actually as so the arena's a big like oval kind of thing. So I feel like your armor is in front of the skybox.
Yes. So if
You
I
know.
need to, I can
Yeah,
jump
that's
to it.
there.
Yes.
You know, I feel like you're across from the skybox.
Sure.
You know, in kind of the mid zone.
He's probably.
You're probably at one end, you know, kind of bookend the end that
Watch
she's going to be
everything.
on, because again, you're like the runner-up. You know, you were also very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then dude will be coming in from the
Yeah.
other side. His name is Sir Edgar. You have not seen him at all.
Where was he during the qualifying?
He was already qualified.
Yeah. That's
No,
true.
yeah,
Yeah.
we were.
He is
Oh,
the champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's emergent. Calling it.
So yeah, he's
Totally
actually
emergent.
Mergiane. He was all this time. You know.
How much like has there
Surprise,
been?
it was me all
Has there
along.
been any time to perform like modifications to our mechs, or we didn't have that?
There
type of
was
time?
there was some time to do that, but you were sitting by Arthur.
Okay.
She was investigating her stuff, like, you know, she was having an interview with the creepy lady, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I meant since like
You know.
the whole.
Since the duel and everything,
Yeah.
not a ton, because
Okay.
Arthur's like, we got to get this done.
Okay.
You know.
Let's do
So,
this and leave,
yeah, there
please.
hasn't. The time was that kind of interval.
So as we're walking to the arena, I'm walking, and I say to you like, we need to put that like plasma thing on my horns. Eventually.
I'm gonna try to get that on my drill while she's fighting.
All right.
I support this.
Because I got stuff.
You would need massive generators. That's going to take some time.
I've got stuff from the. I'm not thinking like a extended. I'm thinking
stuff.
like a quick burst, like onto the drill. Because I got the plasma stuff from the. I grabbed the damaged components from the knife.
Well, we'll see. It's like, you know.
I'm not expecting it to
my
work.
kid in a toy store. Well, we'll see, honey.
I'm not expecting it to work, but I'm definitely
right.
gonna try.
I've just added that to my to-do list later.
I mean, as someone who appreciates cool armor, I am on board with that.
So, I don't want to forget something. So I want to have an opportunity here. So you're making a show of having your armor at the end of this, and just like, you know, telling everyone, I'm going to watch from, you know, from the RAM, you know, do all this. As you are heading there, down a side hall, you see Titan Harlock whisper something to one of her bodyguards. And he starts moving off down another hall.
Okay. I'll follow you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's got that. Pass that back to me.
He's
This is
fishing for a red herring.
Fishing for red herrings. This is the, you know, a
Yeah.
reminder to our audience. You can keep this on you, but so when this fight begins, you will actually not be in your armor. Everyone thinks you are,
Yeah.
but you're engaged in cloak and dagger, kind of like, you know, like
Espionage.
what's this guy up to? You know?
Look at that.
Yeah. Well, it's
The
big
least
hallways. And
stealthy cloak and dagger
once the fighting
ever.
starts,
Nobody's
there's a
gonna hear
lot
him.
of loud,
Yeah.
you know, like
Nobody's
stuff.
gonna
You know.
hear him.
And right now there are trumpets blaring. There's all
Fanfare.
this stuff.
I'm getting all hyped up.
So Arthur's up
Is
with
there a
you.
hype man?
You know. Yeah, it's sort of. I mean, Wilmot's kind of the. Yeah, yeah. There are screens declaring, you know, like the Honorable Sir Edgar versus the Challenger, Sir Alwilda.
If they put the IO like symbol
Well,
up, I'm
herald-
just gonna be like, wincing every time.
and that's the thing. The heraldry is up there. So his like the, you know, the banner of House Wilmot is up there, and then the banner of your specific IO heraldry, and everyone's like, yeah, local favorite, you know, because they've seen actually fights between
Yeah.
those kinds of things. Remember, Harlock is a guest, you know, and like.
Yeah.
And all that.
That's great.
So they've seen these before. They're like, yeah, we've seen this. This is cool. So there's sort of a vibe going around of either way we win. You know.
Yeah.
Because, like, if the best that Earth can do is send us one of our own, okay. You know, so this is cool. Everyone's gearing up for this fight. So you are up with Arthur, and Wilmot's just like, well, it's all very exciting. I hope you don't expect my son to go easy on her.
Well, no.
Quite the warrior.
Of course not. That would be too easy.
You're ensconced in yours. You're coming in through like the massive like portcullis gate and everything. People are like cheering, booing, all. So this is actually remarkably familiar.
Yeah, it feels this used to be my playground.
Yeah, and only the armor lining the walls is crappier than you're used to. You know, you're used to like much
Used
better.
to real fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Much better garbage.
Yes, much better
The
garbage.
caliber of garbage is much higher.
I'm used to a finer class of garbage, thank you. And the other guy's armor comes out, and it is like this blocky, like grim kind of style thing. Let's see, I'm looking in the wrong book. I'm about to look up Jovian armor in the Fate Core book. Evil Hat, you were not prescient enough to put those things for easy, So this is an armor style known as a gladius.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So it comes out and is just kind of like, raises a fist and everyone's going nuts. And over the sounds, the cheering, you're following this dude through the halls. And he actually goes to this side kind of room near the ladies' chambers, and there's a door marked communications.
Okay.
And he, walks in.
Okay.
What are you doing? This dude is up to no good.
I mean, that's obvious. I mean, my years as a knight have told me that people don't skulk through hallways like that.
You said skulking through hallways.
What's your skulk skill like?
Not good. He is probably, if he's paid any attention, he knows I'm there. So, but I think he has no idea.
Yeah, he was moving at a pretty brisk pace, and with he hasn't said anything or confronted you or anything.
So,
you might not have noticed it.
So I'm gonna just kind of like open the door or like try to catch it before it closes.
Yeah, get up to
and just kind of like not really peer in, but just kind of keep it open so I can hear.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, he goes in. You can get up to it. The door is like an automatic open. You can like hold down the close button to make sure that it doesn't open from you, just from being in front of it, and get up by the seam. And on the radio, like on the communication device, there's a brief bit of like countersign stuff, and then he's like, I have a message from Titan Harlock. Ready Io's fleet. Move it into position over our car.
That's not good.
That is no bueno.
The Titan says that it is time.
Oh,
What do you do in this moment?
What door?
what door?
Yeah, I'm just going through.
All right, are you just going to tackle this dude? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm going through the door to tackle
Through
him.
the man, through the transmitter.
Going through the door,
like,
grabbing the man.
as much destruction as
Through
possible,
the
using
panel.
probably him to cause most of it.
Okay, give me a, let's see. So you're just like, is it main strength just slant, or are you like punching or what do we think? Is the intent to injure or is the intent to restrain?
The shock and awe, basically. Like, I want to go through the door, get him, slam him down.
Oh, you're trying to terrify him.
And because I want, it's my first thing is going to be like, what is going on?
Daunt, then.
Okay.
What is your daunt skill? This is the Be Terrifying skill.
I feel like
I imagine it's
I feel
not
like you're
one of your-
done.
I feel like that's
your
high.
averages. I
Pretty
feel like that's
good.
pretty-
I think you're really good at daunting.
I mean, I'm almost as hideous as he is.
Yes.
So, and I mean, years as a blacksmith and stuff, I'm a pretty
Burly. Yeah.
big
You're
guy.
a big guy.
So, and I mean, it would be my other good, but I don't feel like there's much other things that I would be good at.
Sure.
Other
Yeah.
than hitting things.
I love
So
that
I'm-
both of you have +3 daunt.
Yeah.
And we haven't even gotten into the crazy stuff that your armor can do.
And I mean, he's got.
He just
I mean,
looks
that
scary.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
All right.
I think I'm gonna go with the
It's all
good.
augmented and
All right.
terrifying.
So roll me and see how this goes. This is going to be just against the dude's, what is it, dedication, I think,
Sure.
It'll be just kind of a passive thing there. I'm not going to have him, or devotion, that's it.
Okay.
Which is pretty solid for him.
Okay.
He is a bodyguard, he is a loyal subject, so this is going to be a +3 that you have to get.
I've got a -1, so it's at a 2 right now.
All right, so there's a couple things that we can do. One, the vengefulness of you fishing for red herrings,
Yeah.
could make you devote to this. Alternatively, there's something else that fate can do that we've not talked about, which is success at cost.
Yeah.
On a failure, you can succeed at a serious cost.
Okay.
If we can think of one, if we can think of some really bad outcome that could happen as a result of this.
Well, you're just trying to tackle the guys?
He's trying to scare the dude, talk, this kind of thing, as he's slamming the dude around this, equipment.
It just takes the whole time that she's up there.
No, it's
I don't wanna
worse.
remove
It's
him from the
worse.
final
It's
scene.
worse
Yeah.
than that. The communications line is still on, so they hear.
Oh, they hear
They hear
Yeah.
the tussle
the
and
tussle
talk.
and everything. The dude
Yeah.
who's like, the lady says it's time, and then suddenly bang, and everything. And do you yell like, in the name of King Arthur, tell me what's
God!
Is that?
I mean, I like story-wise, I want to say yes to that, but I don't feel like I
That's
would
your-
I would have just been like, what's going on?
Yeah, just what's up, God?
Yeah.
Just like kind of shouting and everything.
What do you
So
mean?
it sounds like bad stuff.
Yeah.
So when they arrive, they are probably not going to arrive like, we have entered orbit. It's going to be like screaming out of the sky.
Yeah.
Right? Oh boy. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's throw this aspect on. This is like a ticking time bomb kind of thing.
Yeah.
What are we calling this?
Shields up. Red alert.
Red alert's not bad.
Forgot to hang up.
Oops, it's war.
It's war.
Oops, all warships. Special captain.
Maybe Titan Harlock's in trouble.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Or well, let's just call it a hostile navy. Maybe.
Sure.
They wouldn't have been hostile necessarily.
No, they probably would have just been hanging out. Now they're hostile.
Do
Yeah.
hostile
Yes.
navy
Oops.
inbound.
Hostile navy inbound.
Nice.
I like that.
Yeah.
So, does
I
he
mean,
tell
not
me
nice,
what's going
but-
on?
Yeah, so he does that, and you hear like, what's happening? What's going? And I think you just like kick the thing, like just
shut
or
up.
slam him into it to shut it off, And he's, like staring at you, like over the veil. His eyes are just wide. He's drained of color, and he says, "I was ordered to call in the fleet of Io."
Why?
Titan Harlock. She knows that Lord Wilmont he is a schemer, sir.
Okay, so as soon as I hear that,
And he says, like, as you're like kind of gripping him, it's like, for the
realization.
details, he says, he has made a deal with Mergiane.
This is the wrong guy.
so I'm booking it now.
Ah!
No. There's no time for the face. I've
it's
let
just-
him go as soon. Like
Yeah.
he's still like
He's just
he's
screaming
he's aligned with I'm gone.
Yeah, made a deal with, and you're just like, made a deal with, and just like,
Down the room, down
and
the
he like
hall.
collapses to the floor.
Like bouncing off the walls,
Yeah,
running
it's
down
you're
the
just
hallway.
running through. So,
We don't have comms or anything.
No.
We don't have any kind of comms.
Making sure.
Oh no.
you
What
come
advanced
out,
technology.
and so there's a couple of ways of doing initiative. The baseline one is
Your book's up there.
yes, but I'm going to grab a couple of them. So the baseline one in the book is just based. In this case, it would be based on zeal. To see how fast people react. There are other alternatives that are in. The Fate System Toolkit has a bunch of extra rules and things. The one that I like is actually from one of the newer Fate products, the Dresden Files Accelerated. Which has my favorite narrative initiative of all time, which is the whoever goes first, and then that person picks who goes second. System for those who are fans of Cortex Plus. That one was great. So, that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to give everybody a card. Let's do queens for these. Do you guys want jacks? Fair. Oh, do I have one in here? Oh wait, no, I do. Joker. Are you a jack? I think you're a jack. All right. There's that knave. I think
That was also a really good subtle reference. I appreciate it.
the other major things here are we've got.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a king for Edgar. I'm gonna have
Can I just call him Eddie?
my ace in the hole.
You should just to annoy him.
Like,
And I-
trash talk is honorable. That's part of
Of course
fighting.
it is.
I think
Yeah.
that's all I really need.
Yeah.
Is my king and my ace in the hole. We'll see if more shows up after that. So
It makes a good show.
you come out. This whole thing is about to go down, and in this scene, he's rushing through. You're up with Arthur. You're in your mech. You're there. The dude's there. Who is it likely acts first?
So,
Because you've got you've got fast armor. You have that like drive to prove yourself. This is your element. So as the trumpets end and there's like the big like like begin thing, like the banners unfurl, the signal to
Right.
go. Are you like hot off the mark?
so I would be, but I haven't seen him in action.
So you want
Does make me want to know what type, what does his armor look like? What, like,
it's very
like-
sturdy. It's like an older style, very very sturdy.
okay.
And
Would I've seen this sort of armor before on some like older
Probably.
knights at,
he's got like a
guests.
spear kind of weapon.
okay.
And various blaster stuff. It's
Okay.
cool.
All right. So that would give me a little bit of an idea of what type of fighter he is based on like what the suit looks like and what weapons he's got and stuff.
Yeah.
But I still haven't seen him in action. Obviously, he's the champion, so
Yeah.
he's probably very good.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see his movement style and stuff.
Yes.
So I probably wouldn't. I mean, I'm a seasoned enough like joust and champion, sort of show fight person to want to be able to know what my opponent is up to.
Okay.
Let
Like, I'm
them
not
make the first
super
mistake.
seasoned. Yeah, but
Come at me,
I
bro.
do know that I don't want a totally unknown element
Yes.
coming at me. I want to see.
So
Yeah.
he would go first.
Yeah. So you're just gonna let him have the initiative? That's fair. That seems pretty cool. All right. So it'll be.
I'm
his.
gonna say yeah.
Yeah. So you're like watching and waiting, and then we
Yeah.
see him move.
Yeah.
So he starts. And we should develop zones here. I feel like the main zones are. I feel like there's there's like the north end, the south end, the middle, the tower that the skybox is on, at the side of that where the VIPs are. Then the stands and the tunnels. It's kind of how it goes. Or just,
outside of the arena,
or just
the inside.
Yeah,
and then like to get to different you have to get to another part of the arena. You have to
makes sense. Yeah. I that makes sense. So we'll count the structure.
I don't really see it at this point. I don't really see a scenario where getting from one end of the arena to this side. I don't know. Just like the outside, but if you have to cross to the inside to get to it.
Yeah. So, I agree.
You make robots too. They have a large foot span.
Yeah. Well, bear in mind, one person's on foot.
It's true.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, we'll start with him.
It happens.
He will launch himself forward.
Okay.
And just start like the basics of this, just like, slams forward and everything. Sure. And as he goes, let me see what slot that's on. That's he like runs forward and then like skids to a stop, like going down, and there's a massive like crossbow shaped like beam array.
Boy.
And he just blasts
Fires at me? Yeah, sure.
Just blasts at you. So he's coming at you. That thing has a stunt.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
So he's coming at you. He gets +2 to blast on the first physical attack in a conflict. So he's just going to try
Awesome.
to take you down. So good lord, that's a lot of crap. All right. So I feel. Let's see.
After moving the robber, your turn continues to trade.
Let's see. Do we just let it go wide, or do we? I've got 4 fake punches.
Yeah, you do.
I got some.
You got a lot of juice.
I don't know that there's anything on you
That's
that I
a lot
could
of
do.
gimp.
So I'm going to use one of Sir Edgar's aspects, which is champion of House Wilmot. So I think, do I do the full reroll? I mean, he's only because I want him to start at like a positive number. So here we go. That's bad.
Yeah.
All right. So he's got good blast, which brings him up to 4. So that is a 6.
Okay.
So that is a 6 shift hit coming in.
Ick.
You can defend in several ways. You can defend. You can defend with armor. That's a typical skill.
And yeah, I have +2 to armor to defend versus blast attacks.
That sounds like a thing. So
Yeah.
you probably want to do. So what is your armor skill?
My armor skill is +3. We already decided
yeah,
that.
that's right. So before we even get into that, what does this look like? When, because where's that stunt based on?
So that stunt is based on the rocket boots.
Nice. So what does it look like? He comes and just, there's this beam coming in.
And so rocket boots to defend against blast attacks.
Yeah.
You can either dodge,
Yeah, I feel like
strafe
that's a
left or right, or just
that's a-
jump.
Yeah.
Just like glide along the ground. Just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just do a split.
Nice.
Standing split.
So just your intent is to just not be there when the beam cuts
I'm just
across.
getting
You just
out of the
Oh, we
way.
get that thing where you're
Where
flying
you're flying
sideways and the
across
beam's
the
like
beams.
Yeah.
through,
Yeah, I'm just not I'm just not in
cool.
its path.
Awesome.
When
So
it
let's
gets there.
do this. So you
Yeah.
For some of the other armor.
so you have what plus what? Plus 3
so
armor?
I have +3 armor and
plus 2 to defend
+2
against-
to defend
Yes,
against
yes,
blast
Awesome.
attacks.
So you have +5 to this. You're looking to
Nice.
beat a 6.
Nice.
2.
So that is 7.
And then,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
So then, wouldn't some of the other armors that were behind her get blasted with this thing?
It's aimed more towards the don't worry about it. Cinematic.
Aim towards the actual garbage.
If we're showing, if we describe it as like churning up the ground behind her, then
Yeah,
it's
it's
aimed
fine.
low. It's trying to cut her off at the legs. Damage
I've
leg.
created a nice furrow on the ground behind me.
Awesome.
It's a trench.
So he is done. He gets to decide who acts next.
Okay.
I feel like that's probably. Should we just have these two and then see
Yeah.
what goes on?
There's
or-
no reason for us to be
Yeah.
involved yet.
Unless,
A question.
yes.
Is if and when he gets back to his mech, is there any sort of communications uplink from there?
Yes. Your mechs can communicate with each other.
Okay.
And do you have a direct connection, or do you need your
She has.
mech?
Her mech has a connection to Morella.
Okay. So you're in the
Room with Arthur.
I am in the room with Arthur, but if need to, I will jump to my mech, which is just over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I mean,
Or
using
just,
my mech.
or just like, it's on, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
But I don't want.
So beam goes by and
I wanna
everything.
leave
Let's
Arthur
see.
alone.
He wants to see what you're gonna do. So flip your card face down
Okay.
and.
So I have. Let's see.
Don't
what
look.
I-
Don't look at that so much. What do you imagine happening? And then we'll. Golden rule.
Well,
Describe first.
I'm more looking at what equipment I have
Yeah.
on my mech.
Yeah. You got.
Because I've got the neutron.
Yeah. The pistols
Blasters,
are.
yep.
The blaster pistols are good for already damaged armors.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
And I've got. I did a lot of punching
Yeah.
during the qualifier. I feel like he just tried to shoot me.
Yeah.
I want to come. So he tried to shoot me. I slid out of the way.
Yeah.
I want to sort of come up on his side and try and ram him from the side.
Just pummeling in. Okay, so you're moving into that
yeah.
middle zone as well, just like coming
Yeah,
up on him. All right. So yeah, let's. Now, what is your intent? Is your intent to damage him so that your pistols work better?
Yeah.
Okay. So this
I
is a
wanna-
straight up, just like bang melee kind of.
I want to bust up
thing.
the armor a little bit to
Awesome.
give myself an advantage
Awesome.
later.
So go ahead and do that for me.
All right.
So give me a melee roll. You have your melee stat?
I do not.
What do you have in melee?
I feel like this is really my like sweet spot. This is somewhere where I'm comfortable. So that
Not
should
blasting?
be.
Are you better at blasting or are you better at punching?
Ooh, I think
I
you're
feel
better.
like I'm better at
I
blasting.
think you're better at blasting.
Yeah,
So
I
do you
think we'll
have-
do fair.
Yeah.
Fair for melee.
Yeah,
Okay, so
so-
right in melee down there. Nice. These are important decisions because you're like, yeah, and then I can follow with my pistols. Then
It's
oh
like,
wait, I'm
but
worse
I
at it.
need the pistols to work well.
Yes, that's
So-
your kind of main MO. All right, so you got a +2 to this.
Yep.
While you're gone, we
Nice.
put that in my
Yep,
dawn
that's a
transfer
2.
as well.
So
we'll
4
see.
total.
Yep.
All right. Are you going to spend anything, or you just want to see how he handles?
I want to see how he handles
You're still
this.
probing
yeah,
his defenses
yeah.
as he comes in. All right. Sounds
I'm not doing
good.
anything flashy yet. You save the flashy stuff for,
Yeah. All right. So he is going to defend just with armor.
Okay.
Just like going at it. So he's not. He's actually quite good at that too.
Of course he is. He's
Of
the
course.
champion.
Yeah, that's his thing. Here I am about to roll 2 dice. So he's got a +3.
You can
to
do
this.
that if you want.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't stop you.
So 4 is the total I need? 4. All right. So he is going to attempt to. So the way this works with him is you come around, and he just kind of like plants himself.
Yeah.
And like as you're like, he kind of catches you, and is like trying to bring one leg up.
Okay.
So let's see how he does. Let's see. He is at 3. Man, we're just trying to,
Yeah.
I don't know that there's anything I can specifically on you. Ooh, there is potentially old grudges. Or I could just invoke his champion thing again. I feel like I'm burning through these points, but
Yeah.
you know what? I'm kind of okay with that.
He
This would
is
get
the
him.
champion.
He is the
champion.
champion, and that would bring him to 5. So what he actually does, I'm going to spend that. He gets one boot up, and then you hear a clunk, and realize he's got Magnagrav boots. And then he just spins you aside. There's like a weird kind of spin kick and just sends you, you know, kind of flying past
No,
him.
I spent some time in the centrifuge. I'm not gonna hurl.
Yeah,
it's
you're
gonna be
good, you're
okay.
good, you're
It's gonna be okay.
Who goes next? I've got my surprise ace in the hole. We've got running. We've got popcorn, and we've got, you know, like little sandwiches or whatever's
Tiny
up in the,
finger
you know.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
And
Pick.
joking with Arthur.
Drinks.
We're running low on time here, so pick.
So I think I need you to
think
get
running.
closer.
Running.
So
Yep.
go ahead and put your card face down. And what are you doing? Are you just getting the heck?
So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get there as fast as possible
Okay.
to my mech.
So that you can communicate.
Because that, I feel like there's no way I could get to Arthur fast enough. Because
Yeah.
that's my biggest concern.
Yeah.
But I know I can get to my mech faster,
Yes.
which will then provide.
And then you're in your,
Yeah.
your
Right.
armor. Yeah.
So I would invoke one of my aspects, which is the shield of my companions, to
Okay.
compel
Well,
myself to be moving
Let's make
faster.
this a zeal roll. You are
Okay.
covering ground.
Okay.
Do we have zeal for you yet?
No, it would be, I'm gonna say, probably fair.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
So I'll write that in.
Yeah, you got the +2 there.
So-
this is only reasonably, you know, kind of difficult. I think this is fair difficulty.
Okay.
To get there in time. So you need to. Let's see how we did. You were just charging through.
So I have a
4. So you have a 4. So you get there. Not only do you get there, in time to send the thing. You like are able to get up, you know, into the mech to the thing. And what message do you send out?
Wilmont is evil.
You feel like you're on the comms, you know.
Yeah.
Talking's a free action. What do you respond? Just like,
I mean, that's the first thing I say.
yeah.
Evil how?
He's working with the emergent.
Well,
All right, who goes next?
I'm hearing that.
Yeah,
too,
you're just
so
like,
I'm like,
what?
I'm sort of steadying myself after being thrown, and I hear that, and
Yeah.
So
getting
who
ready
else
for the
gonna get you?
next.
Okay, makes sense.
yeah, so at this point, if Wilmot's evil, then this whole thing doesn't matter.
It's a farce.
So
Yes.
let's make this night fall so that you can actually do something useful.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I'm going to try to like. So he's how is he looking like? He's got a foot on her right now.
He used that to grapple her to spin her away, so she went tumbling and he was planted again.
Okay, yeah, I want to make him fall.
Okay.
So I'm thinking like.
You want to put him on the ground.
Thinking
Oh
like.
no, he wants to put the ground on him.
I'm thinking like
Nice.
make
Okay.
a sinkhole basically.
Awesome.
Like,
Awesome.
rip him out of the battle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is creating an advantage. I feel like this could be. This is probably opposed by his. Let's see. Probably opposed by his armor. It's his reaction time of to can he see it coming. For that. Yeah. Overcome obstacles to the field while that you defend. Well, either that or zeal. What do we think?
I mean, it all depends on
Pretty
so
zealous.
I'm sending stuff his way to unsteady him, and probably zeal to get out of the way.
Yeah, dodge attacks and things like. Stay on your feet when you're not. Yeah, that seems. Yeah, so it's probably zeal. So okay, give me yours.
This is going to be armor roll, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I think it's whatever. Yeah.
Because I've got the,
Yeah.
the drill that's going to let me
Sounds
do
good. Is he out?
so my armor is fair.
Nice.
It is cobbled together. I mean,
That's true.
It's fine.
Well, no, his armor skill. He's
Oh,
not
oh,
a
I
trained
see, I
pilot.
see.
He just built this.
I
thing.
I just built this.
All right. Give me a shot.
This is going to be a +2.
Practiced a bit.
If I want to get one of
Oh,
these,
oh, that is -4, so -2.
Yikes.
Plasma sword. Oh no, wait, that's not
Yeah,
good.
that's not gonna help because you won't let me build my plasma sword.
No. Is there anything you would like to maybe invoke to not have that?
Yeah, so I think I want to invoke my trouble. As Morgana's hearing that she's involved at all, like is like the instant trigger for me. That,
Okay.
like, this cannot occur.
Okay, so you are just like, you know, like you're in panic
I'm
mode,
all
like yeah.
in. Like this is just
Okay, sounds good.
robot focus.
Yeah, yeah. Robot fight. All right.
I'm gonna re-roll.
And yeah, I figured re-rolling with a -4 on the dice is the way to go.
So -1.
So +1.
No,
Yeah.
So you end up with a +1. Yeah, you get.
Because you had
it's
two.
-1, a +1, a +3.
Oh, that's right, because you have the stunt
Because this
plus
is
2
an
to
armor
this.
based
Yes, because your excavator drill.
So it's gonna be a +3.
+3 that he's got to go against. All right,
Yeah, I'm
so
fine.
he's rolling zeal. He's got zeal at +2. So he is going to go for that. See how he does. Helps if they're rolled on the table. So he got a 3 and you got a 3?
Yep.
Okay. So this is a tie. So for that instance, on a defend roll with a tie, that is, I think you just get a, let's see, yeah, you get a boost. So you don't get a full advantage. He's not like ensconced in rubble, but he is off balance, I think.
Unsteady ground or something.
Yeah, or just, I'm just gonna put unsteady. We don't have to go too big into just a boost, but you get a little, you know, just a, you know,
Unsteady.
unsteady with a B on there. So that's on him.
Cool.
All right. Who goes next? Now it's important to note, whoever goes last in the round chooses who goes first in the next round.
So I think that
I've got my ace in the hole. And
because you have no idea what's happening.
I have no idea what's happening right now.
okay.
The ace in the hole. Oh boy.
All of the damaged armor suits start moving.
They are.
They burst forward and panels are like falling off of them, and there's these weird, horrible, spidery robot things. Just it's like they're packed full of termites, and they just start going, and trying to attack like everybody, you know.
Super.
Pretty much. So that's going on. So they're gonna go.
That's exactly
This
what I was
is
like.
not
nope,
according
I'm
to
gonna
the
be
rules
there.
of combat.
No, no, it is not. No, it is
I
not.
would have been had he not already, because he burst in, and then you
And then you
added in,
acted.
and he shouted about it being like that Wilmot is evil, and I was like, oh well, everything is out the window now.
Yeah,
Like this
yeah.
obviously,
This
this
is
wasn't
not
a
a
fair.
fair
This
fight.
immediately
Yeah.
was aware of
So
it being.
the emergent, they just start
Yeah.
going. They're going to blast everyone.
Of
They've got a
course
thing
they
for
are.
that. They are a swarm kind of thing. These guys anyway. So they're going to blast all active mechs that don't currently have an ally in them. Yours isn't active yet, so they're not bothering blasting it.
They're also
but
not
they're-
bothering
but
blasting the
yours
box.
is like, you know, as you're gotten in. So it's coming at all of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
boy.
they're not super great, but there's a lot of them. So that's going to factor into this. We're looking at a 5 coming in just from as they just start opening up with like just plasma blasts. Each of you is going to have to defend against this.
Okay. I'll go first.
Sure.
So I'm going to use my neuro-linked reactive plating, which is a +4 armor to
Okay.
absorb the blast.
Nice.
And I get 4.
All right. So that is only 1 shift of damage. Do you just want to check off a box? A stress box? Your 1 physical?
I feel like this is it, and I have 4 fate points, so I don't see why I wouldn't want to use them.
Oh, you might want to use those on aggression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Yeah, I'll take the one.
Because the stress is just check your physical stress box of 1. Yeah,
Okay.
that's super easy.
Right.
What do you got? And I apologize, we are absolutely going to go over time, and I'm going to try to bring this. We're in the final scene.
I'm gonna try to Spider-Man my way out of here.
Oh, just use zeal to pull yourself out.
And use the
To
pizza
climb. So they start blasting at you, and we just see odd, grapple things shoot out of his back, and he just gets yanked backwards. It looks really goofy.
But effective.
But effective.
But
So I'm
effective.
gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with zeal.
All right, what do we have your zeal at +3,
+3.
right? Yeah, that's right. You're a mover.
So it's gonna be 3,
4,
5.
5. So that would give them a boost against you. Are you okay with that? Okay, cool. What do we want to call that boost? Just precarious. Yeah. Just remember, write down precarious on that. How are you defending against all this?
I am defending with my rocket boots.
Nice.
Again, trying to just get myself out of the way.
Yeah. Nice.
You know, like, this is not fair.
All right, and that's to the what, armor skill?
That's the armor skill, so that's a +3 on my armor and a
Okay.
+2 for the rocket boots.
Okay.
So that's nothing. It's a 0.
5.
So that's a 5.
So 5 against my 5.
Yep.
Okay. So they would get a boost against you, though. I do want to point out a bit of your armor.
Okay.
Look at your head slot. The snapfire targeting computer?
Yeah, when I succeed with style on an armor defense, I can inflict a 2 stress hit. And I didn't succeed with style.
No, you didn't succeed. But if you can add 3 to this in some way, if you have aspects to invoke, though you only have 2 fate points, so it may not be worth it.
Yeah, I don't
But-
think it's worth it to try
okay,
and do that.
Sounds good.
Not now.
All right.
I'm saving these.
So
'cause I'm
you
sure I'm gonna
also
need
get a
'em.
boost of, let's see, let's just call it trajectory. Try to just grab that Sharpie and just write trajectory on there, which means they can lead their shots with it.
Okay.
Nimue, you see all this happen.
Is Arthur's right next to me?
Arthur's right next to you and just says, go. As you your first is to get up, then wait, and he's just go.
I've got a splinted knee. I'm not going to get there fast enough.
To get to your armor's right in
Get
front
to my
of
armor.
this thing. You can get there. It's
Okay.
just gonna, bear in mind that the mech, the way these operate, you're moving around in the mech, so it'll actually, your mech will have a limp as a result.
Oh, that'll be okay
Which
then,
is kind of great.
I guess.
Yeah. What do you do? Don't necessarily with the sheet, just
No,
what do
I
you see
wanna,
her
I
doing?
wanna make it so that Arthur isn't completely caught off guard, because I'm leaving him alone in a potentially dangerous situation.
He sees all this
He
too.
sees all of it too.
And he thinks he can take Wilmont.
All right.
Wilmont's this
Very
dude,
well.
I described Wilmont,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
No beard that weak can
yeah.
possibly defeat Arthur of Earth.
And he has a very mighty beard.
No, Arthur's got a huge
Arthur's just
beard.
yeah.
Beard duel.
It's right there.
Yeah.
I'll just leap.
Sure. Yeah.
It's already open
Yeah,
enough
well,
for
you
me.
leap down and the thing already opens and goes in and Merlin's I assumed you'd be along. As systems are already powering up.
Threat assessment response array. Threat imminent.
Yeah, that's
We're
live.
going all blades.
Oh.
We're going.
You are diving.
all
Are you? So you're not
blades.
even doing any range stuff. You were just
No,
diving
I'm
in.
diving right in. As I dive in, the mech rolls. I stand up, and there's just blades
You
all
are made
over
of
my
swords.
arm.
Just
There's swords everywhere.
all this. It's amazing. Spend a fate point to switch your mode to blender.
Blender mode. Blender.
And are you doing a thing? Are you?
Oh, I am. I am essentially a porcupine now. So.
Are you now? Where are you? Are you going for the the emergent robots?
I mean, they're all around me.
Yeah, they're
all I have to do is just roll in a circle.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So the intent, of course, here is to damage.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Heavily.
So go ahead and give me a melee roll.
Let's see. So my melee, because I'm in aggressive mode, because I'm on Blender,
Is a +4.
is
correct?
a +4. Yes.
Yes. If that's your system.
That is my system. Is a +1, so that is a 5.
5. Are you content with a 5?
I am not content with the 5. Can I invoke my trouble?
We're at the game store and I'm with Nabs.
Interesting. As in, you're the primary target.
I'm
and
the
so,
primary target now.
It seems your third aspect seems much more likely.
Yeah. Oh, that.
Excalibur and I were made for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a lot better.
Yeah,
I'll,
that's
I'll invoke the trouble if it comes to it. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're kind of. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
invoking that.
Awesome. So go ahead and
You know what?
yeah, pass me.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I need a
pass
fate
me the
point.
Yeah. To invoke an aspect, you need a
Yep.
fate point. So going from what is it?
It was a 5 to a 7. Yes.
7. Okay, 7 shifts coming in. They will try to
They can try.
not.
They can try.
They're not great at the defense side of things. They're primarily ooh.
Dicers and slicers.
So that's a 1. I mean, they do.
I succeed with style.
Yeah, I think. Let's
You're
see.
so cool.
So they got a 3. So yeah, that's what 4 shifts. Oh god. So there's just like a bunch of them are just exploding as she's just going through. She's not even slowing down.
Nope.
They're just going. Everyone flip your cards. Who goes first in the next round? I should point out, these guys can Voltron.
I think.
I just,
Yeah.
you know,
I really think that.
that's happening.
I think that's happening.
I
think Voltron.
So let's see. So the way that this works, in combined form, it uses the lowest initiative value effectively. I don't know what sort of action it normally takes to do this, but I don't actually care. If you guys are just like, let's do this, then
Together.
Powers combine.
So, so we see this, you know. Oh, because you're dangling.
So I just want to
Swing and just, and the legs like retract, or do they just go like? They just like fly off.
Flying off.
They're just legs together. Yeah, so they just and then I just land on the horns.
Yeah, or on the head. The head like opens up a thing, and now there is this massive ram centaur.
Yes.
One of you flip your cards. You
so
both,
on board
you
for
both
this.
act on the lower initiative of the two.
Okay.
Effectively. Which could be now because of the way we're doing systems.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I think it's now.
Okay.
All right.
It's down.
The time is now.
What do you guys do?
So, I mean, like there's just things everywhere.
There's things everywhere. You know Wilmont's in on it. So the sun maybe, or well, yeah, I'm sure you're the kind of guy who's like, yes, we should ask the sun if he's involved.
No.
We should have a reasonable discussion.
Do not
think we need
condemn
to
the
kill the
acts of the
champion.
son for the father.
He's
Like,
got an unsteady boost on him.
Yeah, so I mean, he's up. So I feel like if we charge him, so we're outside the ring. We're in a different zone.
You're one zone away. He moved
So,
to the middle. You guys are at the end. So
I can shoot him with some cannons now.
Yeah, and I can definitely
follow up with a ram.
Yeah.
follow up the ram.
Like cannons from here, then charge him.
So you fired demo charges into him, and then in the wake of those going off, you just sounds good.
yeah, all right.
Yeah.
We're on board.
I can see that happening, I suppose. All right, so let's do that. Let's fire off some
Generally, my blast is at average.
Okay. You're not so great at it.
I'm not so great at
You
blast
rely
or
on
melee.
you
Like, I
rely
really
on
am-
this. Yeah.
But like myself, because I feel like I'm putting the aspect or the skill on myself.
Yes. All right. So yeah. All right. Take a shot. Give me blast.
It's gonna be a plus 2.
Okay. Yeah, because it all negates nothing in your. Do you want to invoke, say, this unsteady to give an automatic +2 to that?
No.
Or should we see what he's? Let's see what his defense is, and then
No, I think I'm more concerned about because I think the unsteady will help the ramming.
that's
And my blast is really just kind of. I actually think I don't even want this to be an attack. I think it has to just be a 0 to like put him even more off balance.
Okay. So you're not even trying to. Well, you're the stuff
I know.
attack,
So this
right?
is gonna be a 0.
Okay. I mean, you could theoretically.
I think I'm just gonna go with that.
Or you can succeed with the cost.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Sorry.
So, yeah, with an armored defense and everything, he's at 5. So this is a failure or succeed at major cost.
I'm not
You
touching
feel like shutting down some systems.
so I can't collect it.
Your legs.
He already did that.
I think that what happens is I blast him and like for whatever reason it like rips through and breaks the pitons. So I shut down the pitons because they're on the front.
Your guns are on the front.
My guns are on the front and the pitons are on the back.
Okay, so like recoil kind of stuff happens. And
Or they just blow up. Or the cannons just blow up.
What do you?
I'm gonna shut down one of my systems.
all right, the cannons would make more sense narratively. Yeah, shut that down. I mean, you can deal with that. All right. So in that instance, I'm not going to give you a. We'll call it a 2-shift hit on it at that point. You know, it's at least a thing. So he gets to choose one of his systems to shut down. So I'm going to have him. Let's see.
Can I still get
Let's shut down.
While we're learning, we'll give each other.
Let's see.
Don't break it too much.
Okay.
Nice. I like it. Let's see. So you're blasting in and everything, and he's like, trying to just like take it and everything. I think for the second time today, when the smoke clears, you see someone holding the stump of a weapon. The spear just shattered, and some of the demo charges just blew it up. So that's gone.
These must be loaded done.
It's your signature move now.
Yeah, exactly.
Breaking people's weapons.
Break people's stuff. All right, so that happens. You act at the same time.
Okay. So my horns are going to be direct impact. That's a 0 on the roll, and my melee is a 3, and then I have a +2 for my impact charges, so it's a 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hit. He's going to roll armor to defend. Kata. Do you want to keep hammering that home there?
I mean, might as well. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this goes away. So you're at what?
5.
You're running out of
You were at 5 plus 2.
5 plus 2, so
7.
So you're at 7, and he got a 2. So you did 5 shifts there. Do you have anything to invoke to do? Are you out of his one?
No, he's got mine.
I don't know.
Is there something else you want to do? Because if you can inflict 6 stress, you and he choose a system to shut down.
Yeah. I mean, I could use my. I have to use an aspect, right?
You have to use some aspect in play.
I think proving the strength of Earth.
Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
All right, so
Yeah.
there's the thing, just bang, slams into him. Almost put it in the bad guys pile. I don't want to do that. Slams into him, and he goes back, and there's like a moment, like the dust clears, and like as it goes back, we see on the shoulder like the heraldry that's like, the ram with like earth in the curve of the horns or whatever, just like, and the trumpets blare and all this. So he has a few systems. He's got double redundant systems, which gives him a bonus to repair systems. He's got his tabard armor, which lets him use armor instead of daunt on the first mental attack in a siege. He can try to like freak people out. He's got his crossbow, which is +2 to blast on the first physical attack in a conflict, which is already used. And he's got his Maggrav stabilizer, which is +2 to armor to attack when braced against metallic surfaces. What do you want to shut down?
Look at the percentage of how many times 7
I think I want to shut down.
Okay, well that's more that it's easier to repair, but that's not done so much in combat.
Oh, okay. So, probably the boots.
All right, shut down the boots. I guess he'll shut down the crossbow because we already used it. So he's running low. He's running out of things to break. Who acts next? Probably our final round. I'm running out of guys here.
No, him go next.
Yeah, I mean, you can totally go next.
Okay. He was going to use his Maggrav boots to climb the tower and go after Arthur. You sort of
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen now. He tried to stabilize himself as you rammed into him and tried to grip at the floor and everything, and the stabilizer just ripped him off. You know, from the impact. He turned and pieces of the armor are falling off. And there's more of those spiders.
Oh no.
And then a panel falls off and you see him.
Oh no.
And there's big metal cables just wire through him.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, he's gone.
And he comes for you.
God damn it.
So here we go. Melee attack coming at you. That's come on, guy. That's he's at a +3. He is the champion, of House Wilmot, and he is Mergiane cyborg assassin.
Ooh.
So I'm bumping that up to 7.
Okay.
So I need a defend roll from one of you. He's probably attacking the body, or I guess who wants to do the defending here? It seems more likely that
Me?
I forgot that.
Yeah, I'll take that hit because I have the Neuralink reactive plating if I need to invoke that.
Is that just give you a +4 armor skill if you don't want to use your own?
Yeah.
So you're using that.
Because I haven't put my armor skill.
Well, you can defend with armor or melee, but it's still +4 either way.
Okay.
So you're at a 2 against 7?
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you can invoke? Nope, your systems are not aspects, unfortunately. So you can't do that.
To be fair, you've been slowing it down a lot.
So,
Is there any way, if he's connected to her GNA,
Yeah.
is there any way that
oh yeah, no, I
I
understand.
should try to mitigate this a little bit? I can somehow, now that I know what he is.
Oh, okay. So he's being controlled.
I know he's being controlled.
Like a sudden blast on, use your comms to do a sudden blast on that frequency to
Yeah, see if I can make it falter almost.
I like it. Yeah, I'll accept that. Sure.
Cool. You're at 7.
I'm at 7. You're
We're
at
at
2.
so that's
That brings you to 4.
Yeah. I mean, my aspect to shield of my companions to try to. Yeah, I mean, I don't.
There's also you can't die here.
Oh no, I was having a senior moment.
The determination, I'm not going to fall here.
Yeah.
There's a hostile navy inbound.
Yeah.
Or there's any these kinds of things.
You could. Is the parasitic design just me?
You know that you could.
Yeah.
If you could transmit to him, but I don't know if that.
Yeah.
It's on the software side.
Yes. You got anything else, or do you just want to take that 4-shift hit?
I mean, I have a 2 that I can still. How was I supposed to get the 3 or 4? You said
based on your vigor, I believe. Is still
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't even declared that yet.
Yeah, you could suddenly declare that you have vigor.
You could suddenly say that your
Best I
vigor.
can do is fair. The whole time.
Because you got this, remember?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll take this because then I can really wreck somebody in my next turn.
With
my
taking the
stun.
consequence so that you can, because you have the pain thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a 4-shift hit coming in.
So physical, I have 2. So then it's
You want to knock a 2 slot and then take a minor consequence yourself?
sure.
Nice. What happens to you in the armor when he slams in? What happens to you physically? Because you took the hit.
I think it would. So I'm taking the hit. I'm trying to think like.
Is it like a? Is it like just like a?
Oh, I think you cracked your head back.
Like like bruised head.
Like and like I think I like come forward and like
bang. So
bang.
like we'll call it like head cut.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know? Minor consequence of head cut.
Typical anime thing where it's like, oh god.
So that was his action. I wanna see this go down. I feel like we need to finish this. I'm gonna hand it over to Lady Lake and see if you can finish these guys off, so we can remove a turn from this turn order. So we can finish.
Let's just I roll off of my
Yep.
Sonic the Hedgehog move into the middle, and instead of blasters, it looks like the blades are just being ejected from me. So she does this and just, and all the blades
switching to a blast.
to blasters, because I have a +4 to blast.
Okay.
And then,
Nice.
yeah,
Awesome. So
yeah.
you start launching
Let's
blades.
do this.
Nice. Your mode is still melee mode, but you're like electrify them. And
Yeah,
blast them.
yeah,
There you go.
absolutely.
Awesome. That's super cool. So you have +4 to blast. Give it to me.
Here we go.
Nice.
Okay, that's
6.
2. That's 6.
Do you want to do?
I'd like to invoke parasitic design and specifically
you're
targeting the controllers.
Would you like to
twice?
invoke that twice?
Yes, please.
So you're at 10.
No, you guys don't get to go.
Do you want to spend any fate points? As this might be the last turn. Of
Yeah,
the phase?
actually,
Are
why
you a
not?
clone of Dr.
Yeah, I'm Morgana's primary target. Everybody look at me.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you're at 12.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to? Go 1 plus. I'm just gonna remove this card.
Yeah!
They just like they're falling from the sky like meat confetti. Only not meat.
Not meat. Yeah, similar.
It's like glitter, only big.
All right. So flip your card. Who goes next? It has to be. So all that we've got left is the sun.
Oh yeah, I'm going for him.
Oh, by the way, he has 3 systems shut
Yeah,
down.
he does, and I have a thing.
So what do we see?
I have a handful of things that are going to happen here. So I've got my blasters, my neutron beam pistols. They come out, and I just go for them with.
You're like rocketing forward, and just
Yeah.
just blasting into them.
Yeah, I'm just fire everything sort of deal.
All right.
So
Sounds good. So give this to me. What do we got?
so that negated.
So that's just that. So what is
Yeah.
your blast?
So my blast, I am good at my blast.
Very well. Oh,
Yeah.
we haven't done blast with you yet.
No, we hadn't.
But we saved that for that.
Yes.
So you're at a 3.
So that's a 3 right
You get a
now.
+2 automatically from your stunt, right?
Right.
He has
Yep.
that.
Yeah. And I'm
Sorry.
also
I just came out of camera there. I apologize. I'm not used to this.
I am also so amazed.
Oh.
Her display.
Oh, just wait a minute.
Yeah.
Before you walked in,
Okay.
Lady Nimue pulled you aside
Yeah.
and said, now remember, dear,
Yes.
all the world may be your stage, but don't get lost in the act. And then I walk away. You're like, what?
But it was so encouraging.
And you're like,
and
oh, yeah, I got it.
And I'm going to invoke Lady Lake is an omen of victory
I mean,
Yeah.
to bring that in.
Yeah.
7, yeah.
got pal. Got.
Nothing. 2. You succeed with style.
I do. Yeah.
Let's see. So that's what we got. It's 5 shifts of damage coming in, which would have to go.
Yeah.
He can't actually absorb that with just the magic, so that has to go to the guy.
Yeah.
And the guy is exposed and basically dead already.
Yeah.
There's no saving him.
So you just, blast into this thing.
Yeah.
His armor just like falls backwards. Various lights go out. The little spider things are just like dropping off, like flaking off.
Yeah.
And then whatever horrible thing you do. Well, now you've got a consequence on you, so that applies in or out of the armor.
Yeah.
So the aftermath of this, I assume the next priority was probably get to Arthur.
Yeah.
Get to Arthur.
Yeah. Get Arthur. Make sure he's
Get
safe.
to
I feel
Arthur.
like all of these mechs are hovering in air around this tower with guns, and you're just all there, your blades all over this. Your giant you're ready with the drill hands.
No, I did that to make the.
Piton things to climb.
No, to make the
launch.
I do my stunt to bang on something to make the reload.
And
Excellent.
when you get up to there and they're looking into the skybox, it's very quiet in there. And you just see Lord, Titan Wilmot standing there. And you see, off to the side, Lady Harlock is standing there with one of her guards.
Sorry.
And Arthur is standing there with a sword to Wilmot's throat. And Wilmot doesn't look too perturbed and says, well, it seems you didn't.
Yeah.
It was no real test to see if your knights could best lie. You're not fighting me. If you were to be worthy of my allegiance, you would have to show that you could defeat the emergent. So yes, I invite you.
Sure as a card.
And you did not deceive me. I gladly offer my fealty to Arthur. This world is now your fiefdom. Arthur's just looking at him. I do not know that I can trust you as a vassal.
Listen, I don't know what else you expected. Stole your stuff from
And in
home.
that moment, you notice
Okay, bye.
Titan Harlock look at you
Yes.
and then look at Arthur and indicate that there's another possible ruler of this planet that Arthur could potentially trust more. If maybe someone were to vouch for her. Damn. Someone who owed her a favor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Do you speak up? Do you offer the suggestion of your own accord?
So, I'm still in my mech. Can I speak up so that he can hear me? Do we have loudspeakers or something? Cool. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I open up and I'm like, my lord, your majesty, we cannot trust him. He brought the enemy to us. we could have been overcome. For a test. Your armor was taken.
Yeah, I feel like if there was a real test, they wouldn't have screwed with your armor first.
She should stay there.
Kill him? Oh.
I believe that
Maybe his. Oh.
You're like choking through
yeah, I'm having such a hard time with it because it's so dishonorable. But to
the
like
situation, but it's
yeah.
covering your own dishonor. It's
yeah, it's like such a bitter taste.
Yes. Or you come clean, but that's
Yeah,
he might not let you be a knight anymore.
right, which I can't do that. That's not my destiny.
Yeah.
And she'd be so disappointed. Lady Harlock has shown herself to be far more honorable than this worm.
Ooh.
Wilmot actually starts to furrow his brow as he's just sort of like, and then he's just sort of like, and she kind of looks at her and he says, I suppose you would do this tonight.
Yes.
Titan Harlock.
Do mechs have barf bags in them?
Titan Harlock, if you were a vassal of mine, I could bequeath this territory to you. She's wearing the veil, but the eyes
See her
smile.
smiling.
And Wilmot's like, wait.
What?
And she's just like, I owe these acts of your service, my lord king.
Yeah, can we kill him?
And Wilmot's just like,
You can take the number if you're back on the phone.
Harlock. And she just says, you did not know that the armor 401
Okay.
and he just like turns
White.
super pissed, and then I was just like,
Very well.
can we kill him now?
On the way home, from seeing Mom, I can swing through with someone soft.
Do it.
Not, and he says, not with the armor.
He's not gonna call.
And then there's
Jumping out. There's a and with the plasma sword.
the plasma sword in found, and he brought Morgana here. And the last thing the camera sees is the flash of this blinding sword go across the camera and crazy. So that was fate. That was Camelot Trigger. Rob Island, I hope I did not screw this up too badly. Thank you for making that world. I really enjoyed this setting. Thank you, Evil Hat, for giving us fate and all that. What did everyone think?
Amazing.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I hope you all had fun watching. I know I went a little over time, but this always happens. I'm used to a 2-hour block. Anything past that, and my sense of time is completely unreliable. But yeah, check out Fate. It's super awesome. This is only one of 6 different settings in Volume 2 of Fate Worlds. There's 4 volumes at least. There's so many things going on with Fate. You can do so much with it. It is such a versatile system. You can make your own. And yeah, you can just make your own world. The book starts before character creation is game creation. If you want to design a world like this of your own and maybe just steal Rob Wyland's armor rules, and just run some space mech thing of your own, feel free. It's a great game. So thank you all for watching. Thank you guys so much for playing.
Thank you.
Thank you for running.
Next month we will be back again. Next month, in honor of summer, I am going to be running a more seasonal game. We're doing Mouse Guard. So expect more information about that. Zoe might be making a return appearance because
I will be here.
She may not leave this chair
Until then.
Here now.
I call it dibs.
Dibs.
But anyway, that's all from me. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
We will see you in the next one.
Bye.
And thank you everybody for joining us. I'm here again. Hey, it's Andrew. just to call a close, as Sam already told you, we're going to be playing Mouse Guard on stream next month, so look forward to Mouse Guard next month. This coming Friday on stream, we're going to be playing Twilight Struggle to conclude our 80s themed June. So that's going to be on Friday the 30th. We look forward to seeing you then. And from here in Abington in Norton, I just want to say thank you everybody for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you all again soon. Bye everybody. It was fun.